Hey guys!
Hello, Elvis.
Hey Paul.
How's it going, Elvis?
I'm good, Mason. How are you?
Hi, Elvis.
Hey Lowry. Okay, welcome yourselves to the table. I've got candy canes for everybody and a whole bucket of them, so you can eat that one and just snack on more if you want.
Where do you get candy canes this time of year?
Oh, the hobby store.
The hobby store? Are these edible?
Yeah, don't you guys know? The hobby store does cakes and all kinds of stuff. Candy too.
You think that'd be at the cake store?
I know, cake making's a hobby.
I suppose candy canes must come pretty cheap during the off-season.
I wouldn't know, I don't normally compare the prices.
So, I've got my character motive for this one, but you were kind of vague about what everyone else was doing.
Yep, you are a butler. And then Mason and Lowry are secret characters.
Elvis, I'm gonna do my best, but I have some concerns about the character that you assigned me.
Personally, I feel a little robbed about mine. I mean, interesting choice, yes, but really, who is he as a role?
Yeah, my character is very strong. I'll give him that. I know what he's about, but Lowry's character...
Okay, don't spoil. We'll get to it when we get there.
Well, I am already thrilled for this.
Good. Okay, you should be. Alright, so, like I said, Paul, you are a butler for one of the richest men in the world. His name is Paul Sprinklewinker, and he's also one of the most horrible bosses in the world. He loves to come up with creative ways to humiliate you, and this Christmas, he's decided to move you from the servants' quarters over to the living room where you now have to sleep in a dog bed. You're not allowed to use English for the duration of Christmas, you just have to pretend to be a dog. You have to wag your tail and bark and beg for treats.
And this is being a butler for the richest man in the world.
Not the richest, just one of the richest.
Okay, why am I doing this exactly? Does he have my family hostage? What's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you.
Okay, well, in that case, I believe I have had enough. Elvis, get up and go to the counter, find myself a pen and a piece of parchment and begin to write out my resignation. Dear Mr. Sparklewinker, it has been a pleasure serving you. However, I do not feel that I can sufficiently find myself in the role of the family dog. It is with a great and heavy heart that I must tender this resignation, and I wish you the best. Sincerely, Paul.
Just gonna quit the job right from the get-go.
I mean, yes, this feels right.
Okay, reasonable. Well, you're doing this here in the dim light. Because Mr. Sparklewinker does not like people to turn on lights in the darkness. He says it is a waste of electricity, and the reason why he is so rich is because he has devoted so much time and energy to saving time and energy, and it has nothing to do with any of his investments, or DARPA, or anything like that.
Though the DARPA investments don't hurt.
He would have been fine without them. He does not need them. However, he does allow you to put a single log on the fireplace, which crackles softly in the center of the room. But as you're writing your letter of resignation, the fire seems to glow unusually hot. Then it bursts and shoots upward as a gout of flame. From the top of the fireplace, a dark, horrific, malignant claw reaches down. Then another. The two grab on either side of the fireplace.
Ah, yes, this must be Mr. Sparklewinker himself. Go up to the claws, hold one open, and press my resignation letter into it.
Okay. The claw takes this letter and feels that it's got something in its hand. It rubs it with its thumb, and then pauses for a second. And then the rest of a body comes down. It is a gaunt black figure with a gnarled beard and a despicable-looking disposition. It has a permanent scowl etched upon its face. You would say something like a very tall and skinny gremlin. It looks down at this piece of parchment, then up at you, then down at the parchment again, and says, "Are you Paul?"
Yes, sir, the butler, Paul.
And he looks at the paper. He goes, "What is this you've just given me?"
My resignation, sir. Mr. Sparklewinker, I believe that I can't quite live up to your expectations.
Do you know who I am?
Well, sir, given your gnarled appearance and your wicked disposition, I would assume you must be Mr. Sparklewinker himself.
Do you mean to tell me that you've never seen your own boss? Oh, wait a moment. I see what you're trying to do. The figure approaches you, pointing a bony finger at you menacingly. I see what you're doing, Paul Sparklewinker.
Sir, I wasn't comfortable playing the part of the family dog. I'm not sure if I'm willing to reverse roles
no, don't
either.
Play smart with me. You knew I was coming, Mr. Sparklewinker. Don't think this isn't the first time someone has tried to fool the Krampus.
The Krampus, sir. The fictional demon creature that spanks children and then puts them in a basket.
There's a chromatic explosion from the fireplace. Glitter flies everywhere, and a much smaller Krampus leaps out. And I'm the Krampus Jr., it announces, throwing its hands out. The larger one sighs. Yes, I am the Krampus, and this is my son, the Krampus Jr., and together we are here to try you for your evils, Paul.
Just to reiterate, you, sir, are playing the role of the Krampus, and I am to play the role of you, Mr. Sparklewinker.
The little one goes, Oh, Dad, he says he's the wrong guy. The big one says, he is not the wrong guy. They are always trying to trick you. They are devious little monsters. And then he reaches out and he grabs you within his claws, Paul. He picks you up and he throws you into his bag. It's dark, but then only seconds later, you tumble back out of the bag and find yourself in a large room. There are Christmas presents stacked high from as far as you can see. They begin here on the ground where you sit and extend all the way upwards into the ceiling further than you can tell.
Oh my God, you really are the Krampus.
Indeed. And I know everything there is about you, Mr. Sparklewinker.
Again, just to reiterate, I'm actually the butler. My name is Paul, but Mr. Sparklewinker is my boss.
So you refuse to drop the charade, will you? Fine, carry on. It doesn't matter to me. In fact, you're within luck that I even consider putting you through a series of trials. Every mortal who has faced my trials has failed, and you will be no exception. It has been such a consistent disappointment that I barely even put on the effort anymore. But my wife has been complaining that me and my son don't bond hardly often enough, and that he would benefit from seeing what his father does for work. So today we are going to find out what his father did for work before I realized it was a massive waste of time, and normally I would just put you in the bag of suffering. The little one, his arms clutched, goes, Yeah, we're gonna do trials.
What happens in the bag of suffering?
Oh, well, we throw a big parade and everyone says how much they appreciate you, and they give you a bunch of candy.
Oh, well, I don't like candy. It makes my stomach feel upset.
Well, I was being sarcastic. You weren't gonna get any candy, but if you don't like it, then that's what's in the bag of suffering, you idiot!
How was I supposed to know? I was just in the bag and I didn't suffer.
The bag does whatever I want it to do. If it's a bag of suffering, then you suffer in the bag of suffering.
Well, then what if I pass the trials? Can it be a bag of just modest standing around?
Can it be a bag of modest standing around?
Yes, something a step up from suffering.
I don't know. I suppose if I willed it to be, but no one has ever passed the tests. And certainly not you, Paul Sprinklewinker. His son pulls on his fur and he says, Dad, if he passes the test, could he have candy that doesn't upset his stomach? The Krampus goes, he's not going to pass the test, but yes, I suppose if he passes, he can have a candy that doesn't upset his stomach.
Well, very well, then what's the test? Is it written? Oral exam?
No, it is none of those things. It is a test of your moral character, Mr. Sprinklewinker. And that is why all of my victims fail.
Oh, okay, well, then, let's get on with it. What should I do?
Don't get ahead of yourself. These tasks will require some effort, and so I will give you 2 accomplices to help you. He lifts up the bag, and he gives it a shake. A skinny man with spectacles on tumbles out. He says, I present to you Jeffrey Dahmer.
Sup, bud? Jeffrey Dahmer?
That's right. I've selected 2 accomplices who are as equally evil as you, Mr. Sprinklewinker.
I don't know if I'd say I'm evil. I just like to think I have different tastes. You get it? I'm not comfortable with this.
You've made people uncomfortable all your life, Mr. Sprinklewinker. As you like to say, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. You never let anyone out of the kitchen when they were burning, did you? Or did you forget about the time that you burned down a kitchen for the insurance? Your staff were still locked inside, Mr. Sprinklewinker.
Goodness, Mr. Sprinklewinker did that?
Boy, you are really dedicated to this fakery. Well, let's see how you feel when you see your second accomplice. He holds up the bag and shakes it again. Here he comes. It's Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler!
Oh, you recognize this one.
Guten Tag.
Adolf Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer. These are who's helping me with the trials.
That's right, Paul. When I do my tests, I like to pair up my victims with people who are as terrible as they were. You can see what it's like to be dragged down by someone with as black a soul as your own.
I have a lot of reservations about this. I'm not going to work with Adolf Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, you don't have a choice. This is your first test. Learn to work with who you're given or fail.
Oh my God.
Oh, don't worry, mein friend. I know that Germany came across as a bit of a debacle in the end. But old Hitler is still really good at lots of things.
Oh, is that so? Hitler, what exactly is it that you can do? I don't see anyone around here for you to scapegoat.
Now, my friend. That's not true. We can blame the Krampus. 'Cause you see, if we kill the Krampus, this is all solved. Yeah?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I am actually not gonna be useful at all. I'm usually drunk, and I'm really jonesing right now, so... So you mean to tell me that Jeffrey Dahmer and Hitler, neither of them actually died, you put them in your magic torture bag?
Do you have a problem with that, Paul? Do you dislike seeing your peers stuffed in a torture bag?
No, it just seemed like dead was a good position for them to be in.
Oh, you wound me.
Nah, he's right. I would be better off dead.
People have overlooked me my entire life. I want you to know I am not going to fail you. I am going to help you every step of this way, Paul.
This is who? My boss, Mr. Sprinklewinker. These are his equals.
Will you drop this charade? I am tired of pretending that you're not Mr. Sprinklewinker.
Well, okay. This is the first trial, is working with Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer. Are you sure that the trial isn't to reject them outright? Because I would sincerely like to put my foot down. I feel like it would show a stronger display of moral character to not accept working with Hitler. No! It's just also unreasonable.
That is exactly what I said when I fixed Germany. I never get enough credit. Paul, don't worry. You are going to get the credit you deserve. Or we will kill someone trying.
What's the first trial, aside from this?
You're standing in it, Paul. Look around you. Somewhere within this heap of gifts is the one true gift. If you can find it, then I will permit you to move on to the second trial.
How many trials are there?
I'm not going to tell you, you idiot! Solve this one before we move on to anything else. Though I doubt you will. The Krampus sits down on what looks like basically a throne of presents, and then smirks at you.
Oh God, this is not how I wanted to spend my Christmas.
You know what? I am truly sick of your whining. The Krampus snaps, and then suddenly all the presents are wrapped up in that plastic shell wrap. He goes, "Yeah, how do you like that? You've got a lot of presents to open, better get to it." Oh, just so you know, the guy who invented this shell wrap stuff, he's also in the bag.
Okay, don't worry. Hitler has it all figured out. See, I know exactly what to do. Just look for the biggest, shiniest package. That has to be the one true one.
No, I think I know what to do with this one. Elvis, I just reach down and I pick up a smallish package.
I stop Paul and I put my hand on the package. I don't think that you heard me, friend. I gave you very good advice. I said the biggest, shiniest package, that's the one with the true present.
Thank you, Hitler, but I believe that I've already figured this one out.
No, you haven't. That is just a random, puny present that you've picked up. You're going to be opening them all day long if you don't listen to me.
Okay, fine, Hitler. I set the present down. Find the present that you want to open. Just point it out for me, please.
Ah, Paul, I knew you were a good man. Just give old Hitler a second. I'll go and find the correct present. Elvis, I start wandering around looking for, let's say like a big red present. Red is a very good color. It shows power.
Okay, great. Hey, Paul, I know you kind of expect this out of me, but, just saying, if you ever wanted to, see what a famous person tastes like?
No.
I mean, just think about it. You could take a little snack on Adolf Hitler, and no one would even say you're a bad guy.
Stand 6 feet away from me, Jeffrey Dahmer. We are not friends.
Okay. I'm just saying, you're gonna wonder, what does Hitler taste like in a couple of years from now?
Going to be in a torture bag.
Oh, I found it. I found the one. It's in this terrible shell wrap stuff, but this is it, I'm sure.
Hitler has found a large red present that he thinks is the one true present.
Now, I don't know how you're going to open this shrink wrap. Maybe if you use your teeth.
Mr. Krampus, I would like to give you this giant red present.
The Krampus sits up in his chair. You what?
Yes, I want you to have this.
You're giving me the present.
Yes, because that's the true gift of Christmas, is the good feelings that you get from giving to other people and bonding.
Okay. But you don't feel happiness about giving to me. You're just giving me the gift so you can get out of the trial. So it doesn't count.
Elvis, what's his kid doing?
He's just leaning up with his head resting on the throne. He looks kind of bored.
Okay, well, your child seems rather blameless. I will admit I'm rather cross with you, Mr. Krampus. You should have done better research. But every child's smile warms the heart. Young lad, would you like to open a gift?
The kid perks up. Me?
Yes, this big red one is all for you.
Krampus Jr. runs over to the gift while Big Krampus slaps himself in the head and growls. Ugh. Krampus Jr. unsheathes his terrible dark claws and rips away at the shrink wrap, tearing away the present, pulling apart the box, revealing a human skeleton. He goes, "Ah, it's amazing! It's a real human skeleton! Did you know they put these in people?"
Ah, that is a really good gift. Yes, well, I'm a little aghast, but it does warm the heart just a bit to see a child so excited. Huh? Does this count?
The Krampus goes, "Oh my god. How did you know that this was the answer to the test? Who told you? You made a pact with the devil, didn't you?"
No, Krampus, sir. I'm sorry to tell you that these days, basically every television program has a Christmas special where the gift of giving is the true gift of Christmas.
You mean to tell me that there is just an annual television show that tells you the answer to this puzzle?
To the point of being cliché, sir.
Well, I wish I had known that. I guess if I'd done the trials a little bit more often, I would have known that. But the trials are still completely redundant and stupid, and you are not a better person. You're cheating, basically. You looked off someone else's answer sheet.
So, hey, are all these boxes full of skeletons? Because we could just open a couple more, just
Does
in case.
this count, sir? I feel that I have passed the test. On a technicality?
Nations have fallen on technicalities.
No, really, I'll open another box. I'm going to get one right now. Sir, I'm sure that the next test will be equally horrible, and that I will almost certainly fail that as well.
Krampus goes, The next one, I told my son that he could do half of the tests, and Krampus Jr. runs up to Krampus, and he goes, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I get to do my test!" And he reaches in the bag, and he pulls out a door, and then sets up the door, and opens it up and runs in. He shuts the door behind himself.
Well, he seems in good spirits.
Yep, he does.
You, not so much.
Well, I didn't think we'd get on to the second test. Listen,
I promise not to make fun of your son's test. I'm sure that he did a wonderful job for someone his age.
Well, it's not that. I told my wife I don't do the tests anymore because no one ever passes the first one, and it's going to be a big disappointment for him and not to get his hopes up, and she insisted, she pushed me, so I thought that this was going to... You know what? You're setting him up for a terrible expectation, Paul. He's going to think that everyone after you is going to get to the second test, and you know what? Most of the time you don't.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not entirely sure how I can rectify things.
Just get in the door. He spent all night preparing it.
All right, I open the door and I walk in.
I guess Hitler goes in afterward.
And Jeffrey Dahmer brings up the rear.
The Krampus is the caboose, and he slams the door behind him.
Man, Elvis assigned me this role, and I had to give a lot of thought as to how I'm gonna play Hitler.
It's kind of a delicate role, isn't it?
Well, you gotta think, what kind of guy does what Hitler did?
He was angry and passionate and maybe didn't understand things. I feel like that's an easier role. Jeffrey Dahmer, what do you do with Jeffrey Dahmer?
From what I read, Jeffrey Dahmer is a really sad guy.
Yeah, he's sad and a drunk, but not really that, I don't know, compelling.
Yeah, I may have kind of wrecked you on that one, Larry.
I'm doing my best.
Well, the problem is, what do you do with, a sad drunk in the magical world of the Krampus punishing someone else?
If I had free reign, my plan would be to kill and eat Paul, but that would end the game.
I mean, maybe roll with that. Just try and kill and eat Paul. Paul should know that Jeffrey Dahmer will do it. Paul should be on guard.
I guess I should. I don't know, when you dropped Hitler out of the bag, he kind of occupied a lot of my attention. That's how Jeffrey Dahmer gets you. You don't think he's gonna get you, but then he does.
Okay, well anyway though, you guys go through the door, and then you find yourself in a long hallway full of kaleidoscopic colors. It's all kind of trippy, but sort of like an undersea tunnel in a way.
Hey Krampus, what's up with all this? I thought we just teleported around instantly.
We can, but my son thought that this would build tension. I have to admit it does somewhat. You've got a long walk ahead of you, so feel free to talk about your strategy.
Well, if we're going to discuss strategy, it would help to know what the next challenge is.
Oh, is that right? Well, what a shame. But what was it that you said about those investors that you screwed over in that Ponzi scheme, Mr. Sprinklewinker?
I have no idea, Mr. Krampus. I've told you several times now, I'm the butler.
All you've told me is that you're really dedicated to this bit.
I should have resigned yesterday. Just kept saying, one more day. Now look where it's got me.
Paul, it's all right. I'm sure that whatever's coming up next is nothing to be concerned about. It was invented by a child.
You say that, but children are pretty liable to be very unfair when they make up games.
Ah, yes. I do remember my younger years.
So far, I haven't heard any rules saying that we can't kill the Krampus's child.
Thank you, Jeffrey Dahmer. Very astute. Yes, I'm sure that will get me out of the Krampus's judgment, killing his child. I'd like to see you try.
See, there you go. Practically an endorsement.
Why would you do that, Mr. Krampus? Why would you endorse killing your own child?
I'm not endorsing killing my own child, you idiots. I'm saying that it's beyond your capabilities.
Never say never. I watched Germany go through the hardest times, and yet I helped her prevail from them.
Oh, really? Is that what you did? Why don't you tell everyone how you helped them prevail?
That's fine. That's fine.
I would prefer to be modest.
I'm sure that we all know about Hitler.
I kind of want to hear his perspective, honestly.
Oh, it's all right, Paul. I'm well aware of your connections to the unfurled wings of the Fourth Reich.
What are the unfurled wings of the Fourth Reich?
Just a highly secret society attended by certain undesirable members of the upper class.
Why does Mr. Sprinklewinker...
Because you are a fascist, Mr. Sprinklewinker!
I suppose that does check out, yes.
Well, not that anyone asked too insistently, except for Mr. Dahmer here, thank you. But I saved Germany by rescuing it from the banks. You see, in my time, we were facing a financial crisis, and the only thing the banks were worried about was paying off foreign creditors. I stepped in and saved the nation from them and all the other undesirables.
If I may... I believe the problem that was plaguing Germany at the time was the gold standard.
Oh, Germany left the gold standard in 1931, and it still took me and my rise to power to save us.
Well, the thing is, though Germany got off the gold standard in 1931, it was still obligated to pay off its debts in gold or foreign currency, which forced it to stockpile gold and foreign currency to pay off its debts. This fixed exchange rate problem was still related to being on the gold standard. Getting off the gold standard was the start of financial independence for Germany and was the beginning of a long road to recovery. In that sense, Germany was already on its way to financial independence and salvation before you rose to power. The only problem was the debts and how to pay them and the way in which that drove up inflation.
Oh, I didn't know you were there, Paul. I was there.
You were there, and probably judging by an outdated economic model.
Very nice, Paul. But this performative denunciation of Hitler is too little too late for you. Interesting that you would try the macroeconomic angle, though. Most people go for the moral things.
I have worked for Mr. Sprinklewinker for 15 years, and let me tell you something about people like him. If the moral appeal were going to work on someone like Hitler, he wouldn't have murdered children.
La, I saved Germany, you didn't. La, I'm right, you are wrong.
Is this really how you want to spend your last time outside of the bag of torture, Paul? Having a macroeconomic argument with Hitler?
This isn't how I expected to spend my evening at all.
It's not even really fair to Hitler. Here, let me fish out an economist for you, Paul. Oh, you better believe I've got some economists in this bag.
I don't want to debate with an economist.
And why not, Paul?
Do they even have people skills?
No!
Well, I don't want to stand around and be told that I'm wrong.
That's because you are wrong.
No, it's because I don't have a degree in that, and they'll tell me I don't have credentials.
Hey, you guys are totally hogging Hitler. I wanted to ask him a few questions, too.
This isn't about you, Dahmer.
Well, I just wanted to ask this one thing. Okay, Hitler, in a lot of schools, they will ask kids, who would you have dinner with, alive or dead, at any point in history? And a lot of kids will respond, Hitler, because they think they're being clever, and that's the unexpected answer. What would you tell a teenager who decided to have dinner with you as part of something like that?
What would I tell a teenager?
Yeah, they got a magic wish and they could have dinner with you.
I suppose I would tell them, if the breadsticks aren't good, then the restaurant can't do anything else. So first thing you must do is judge the restaurant by the breadsticks.
Okay, that's like the first 5 seconds of the dinner. What else do you say?
I don't know. After that, I'd probably rant about the Jews for an hour or something.
Do you feel like that's a better way to spend time than meeting with, say, Gandhi?
Gandhi doesn't even eat. You just spend the entire dinner watching a man on a hunger strike.
See, if I got to have dinner with anyone, it would be Qin Shi Huang, the leader of China. But because he speaks Chinese and I don't, I would just kind of sit across from him bewildered. And anytime he tried to say something, I'd just make some kind of weird guttural sound, like, Mop, or, hey, and he would just be confused and we'd eat in awkward silence. And I think that'd be a pretty great dinner.
You could do that with me?
I feel like you'd get angry.
I would. I bet Qin Shi Huang would get mad too.
I don't think you guys are pronouncing that name correctly.
Well, then how's it pronounced, Paul?
I don't know. I'm not an academic for China either.
Well, then I guess that's how we're going to pronounce it.
I would probably be more interesting than the leader of China. I think most kids are correct.
Hitler, please. We have lived our lives wrong all our life. Why shouldn't we pronounce things wrong, too? In fact, I'm going to start mispronouncing more words.
This is the worst Christmas I've ever had.
You haven't even gotten in the torture bag yet.
Is it like a pure essence of torture, or is it just like this forever?
It's more of a pure essence kind of thing.
Well, at least it doesn't require my input.
Oh no, I would get so sick of your input. Speaking of, shut up. We're at the door.
Okay. Should I open it, or...
Do I have to do everything for you?
I don't know! I'll open the door.
You open the door and find yourself looking out at an endless ocean of eggnog. And just in front of you is a series of platforms made mostly out of foam. The Krampus Jr. runs up to you and he grabs your arm. And he goes, "Did it feel really ominous in there? Are you guys like all freaked out now?"
Well, I am terribly stressed.
Yes!
However, it was mostly because of Hitler.
You stressed yourself out. You're the one who's trying to deny true reality.
I'm being judged for my moral stances, and you know what? Maybe I get off the hook if I can change Hitler's mind. Maybe that's the real test.
There is not a secret test within the test, Paul. It's straightforward. You have to do whatever's going on. Tell them, son. Krampus Jr. goes, Okay. I had this really good idea. I saw this TV show once called Wipeout. And in it, everybody had to jump across all these things, and if they get hit and knocked into the water, they lose. So I did my own, but I made it Christmas-themed, and also I put spikes on some of the stuff. And sure enough, now that you look, most of the foam is all red and green. There's Christmas lights strung around here and there, and there are spikes jutting out of a few of the swinging arms.
What is Wipeout?
Oh no. And if we fail this test, then we go in the torture bag.
Big Krampus looms over and goes, "That's correct, Paul."
But this isn't even a test of my moral caliber. Almost nobody wins at Wipeout. It's designed to be crap.
Life is designed to be crap.
No, this isn't even like a life is unfair kind of thing. This is like, it's funnier to watch people fail, so Wipeout just makes you fail.
Krampus Jr. says, "Some people win. Those people are really good at this game."
Well, before we get started, I would like to say the idea of building ominous tension with the hallway was good. However, young Krampus, I think that you should probably try to grab my attention with something besides Hitler.
And what is more interesting than Hitler? What, Gandhi? He would just sit there and have a hunger strike. Why do we keep coming back to him?
Well, the fact is, all I know, the objective is just to get to the other side, right? I get to that other platform.
Yes, if you get to that platform, you win.
Okay, right. Well, there's numerous things in between. And you know, on Wipeout, they usually show you the various set pieces. So as we were walking through that hallway, you could have demonstrated some of the set pieces and maybe had some footage of people being knocked off or whatever. Yes, and then we would be like, oh no, what's going to happen next? Like, here, can you show me the first thing that we're going to run into? Can you explain to me how this works?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the first thing, Krampus Jr. picks you up and then just sort of levitates you over on top of a platform. It was spinning, but then he stops it. And he goes, "Okay, so this is the first one. This is just a platform, and one side rotates clockwise and the other side rotates counterclockwise, and you have to jump just right so that you get all the way to the other side."
I see. So it's a test of balance. See, that would be good. You could put that up on a vision or something as we're walking by, and you'd show people successfully navigating so we know that we can get through it. Because just from the platform, I see this, and it just looks like a mess.
Krampus Jr. picks you up, he takes you back to the start, then he starts up the platforms again, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I guess it might be a little unclear what you're supposed to do there if you hadn't seen it in action."
Yes, I'm afraid so, but thank you for that explanation. Could you show me the next part?
Okay, yeah, this next part, he picks you up again. He takes you to a circular platform where these giant arms are sitting. They've got spikes attached to them. And there's also jingle bells on the end, so they jingle as they spin. He stops it from spinning and he goes, "I call this rocking around the Christmas tree. When you get to this part, the spikes try to impale you, and if you get hit by them, you die."
Well, that would have just been terrifying had I seen that before now. See, imagine the tension thinking, oh God, will I get past those spikes?
Will you, though?
I'm not certain I can, and beyond this, who even knows what's next? Can you show me?
Yeah. He picks you up and he takes you over to another platform. This one has a ramp going upward, and there's like a rope that you're supposed to climb. He goes, "Okay, this one was going to be a really awesome surprise. You would start off climbing, and then a giant boulder would come down and flatten you. I call this one Jingle Bell Rock."
Oh, because of the boulder.
Because of the boulder.
How does one get past this one?
I don't know. I thought you guys would figure it out.
Okay. I have a note. Perhaps you should demonstrate someone successfully navigating each of the challenges so that we know that we could make it through if we were physically capable enough.
Well, but I'm supposed to beat you, though.
Yes, but there would be no tension if we knew we were going to fail. I mean, why would we even try? You would need to give us a false sense of hope.
Oh.
Right, and what is next in the challenges?
Hey, he's not even doing the obstacles.
Yeah, Paul is cheating. He's just using the tour to get to the other
Aren't
side.
the two of you supposed to be helping me?
Big Krampus says, don't be mad at your partners, Paul. I could see what you were doing, and I wasn't going to let you get there. Little Krampus goes, you were tricking me?
Well, I don't know if I would... Okay, yes.
Dad, I was being tricked, just like Odysseus. His dad nods and goes, yes, kind of like Odysseus. Just like Odysseus, Dad, just like Odysseus.
Oh, for the record, I wasn't going to jab anyone's eye out.
Yes, blinding the son of the one with power over you right now would be a pretty bad move, Paul.
Well, I believe Odysseus's cardinal sin there was hubris. He shouldn't have told Polyphemus his name.
Big Krampus picks you up and he puts you back at the start. He goes, all right, no more shenanigans, run the course.
But it's designed to be lost. I can't possibly get past the boulder.
If it weren't for modern television, you never would have made it past the first test, Paul.
Well, I have qualms about that test too, you know. You say that you have to find the gift. That implies you must look around and possibly open presents. Even a good person could get confused and be misled by
Run the course, you have 3 minutes or you're going in the torture bag.
Oh, good heavens, yes, sir. Try and jump the first gap.
Shove Paul into the eggnog.
Okay, Hitler, give me an attack roll.
Bam! Get in that eggnog, Paul.
Some partner you turned out to be.
This is for Germany!
Okay, Paul, you ready yourself in a panic to leap to the other platform, and then Hitler just runs up and shoves you over the edge. You pretty much have no chance. You splash down into the eggnog. The Krampus flies down and sort of picks you up and holds you at his waist while he looks up at Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer, who are doing what?
Ha ha! Just as I defeated the communists, I have defeated Paul. There's the communists in Germany, anyway. The Russians proved to be a bit more resilient.
Good work, Hitler.
Thank you, Dahmer. And now with Paul out of the way, it is just you and me. And we will conquer this obstacle course and receive our salvation.
I am actually in really terrible shape.
Well, I will conquer this obstacle course, and I will receive our salvation.
Can you do that for the both of us?
Of course, watch, I shall demonstrate. Larry, I guess I try to leap across the platforms using my cat-like Hitler agility.
I don't honestly think of Hitler as being a very athletic guy, personally.
Maybe when he was a little younger, you know.
He was in the war. I mean, he must have gone through boot camp.
Okay, but you're like old, end of World War II Hitler, so go ahead and give me a roll.
Here we go. Okay.
Very cat-like. All right, Hitler limbers up and gets ready, and then kind of crouches down, throws his arms in a circle, getting ready for that leap, and then jumps forward, and then immediately slips on the first platform, bangs his chin on the way down, and then splashes into the eggnog.
I forfeit.
Mr. Krampus, I know that you said that I would go straight in the bag if I failed, but I would like to appeal to your better nature.
I have no better nature.
Well, what compelled you to get into this business in the first place? Clearly something motivated you.
Krampus Jr. goes, yeah, Dad, what made you get into business? The Krampus Sr. shoots absolute daggers at you and then says, well, son, when I first got in this business, I thought that I could make the world a better place by reminding people that good deeds were not going to be punished. Krampus Jr. goes, wow.
Well, you wanted to make the world a more just and moral place, correct?
Mostly, I just wanted to punish people like you. You make me sick, Sprinkle-Winker.
Okay, yes. But I would just like to point out that this course was unfair. I could not get past the boulder. It was impossible. And if you embrace that level of unfairness, if
you tell me that you and I are the same because I was unfair to you, I am going to slap you on the face.
Okay, well, consider this. Your son made other challenges, right? And I'm sure he's excited for us to see what they are. I bet that by the end of all the challenges, you can still put us in the bag. It makes absolutely no difference to us, but it would mean the world to your son.
Krampus Sr. looks at Krampus Jr., who is beaming up at him with eyes wide and a giant smile, and Krampus Sr. says, well, Krampus Jr. goes, please, Dad. Krampus Sr. says, I suppose it's true. You will go in the bag of eternal torment eventually, and it is eternity, so... All right, fine, you can do the other challenges.
Oh, thank God.
Krampus Jr. claps his hand. Yeah!
You are a most magnanimous sir.
Boy, you are hinged on this butler thing.
As are you hinged on throwing me in a bag of torment, so I suppose...
The slap is still on the table. If you compare the two of us, I am going to slap you.
I would not dream of it, sir.
Krampus grabs Hitler and Dahmer by the collars of their shirts, then he levitates all of you guys to a door at the end of the platforms. He opens it up and says, step inside, Paul. This one is going to be a little bit more personal. You guys step through the door and find yourself in an office space on the very top floor of a tall building. Looks like you're seeing Central Park, and you must be in New York. The Krampus Jr. runs to the window and presses his face up against it. Oh, cool! There's so many lights! It's like Christmas, but they're almost all yellow.
Where are we?
Paul, how can you not recognize you? Right, you're doing the butler bit. Welcome to your office, Paul, one of many. I have for you a simple task. One of your many justifications for having the wealth that you do is that you create value to the world, and you deserve what you earn. Well, knowing that you're about to be put in a bag of eternal torment, it's now up to you to figure out how to use those billions in a productive way that improves the world, just as you say you do. You go ahead and sit down at your desk, Paul. You can use the phones, the computer, whatever. You have until the stroke of midnight, after which I will weigh your money around your neck.
Okay, so you're going to weigh Mr. Sprinklewinker's money around my neck. But you do know that he pretty much invests everything. There's like very few liquid assets.
I'm aware that you have quite a few liquid assets in your foreign bank accounts. Good luck getting those out on short notice. You have until midnight, Mr. Sprinklewinker. Tick-tock.
Tick-tock. Okay, sit down at Mr. Sprinklewinker's computer and turn it on.
Windows boots up. Takes a little while, goes through all the loading screens, and then it comes to a locked login screen.
Okay. Well, Mr. Sprinklewinker's password. What would we be?
The Krampus said he was a fan of me. Try Hail Hitler.
I suppose that's worth a try. I punch in Hail Hitler.
Password invalid. 3 attempts remain.
Oh, try, password.
Obvious, but much more likely. Password.
2 attempts remain.
I don't know.
Does he have a wife or anything? Someone precious to him?
As far as I know, no. Actually, come to think of it, I believe that Mr. Sprinklewinker has one of those key fobs that generates passwords randomly. So it's going to be a bunch of random characters and numbers, and it's going to change every few minutes.
Krampus Jr. shoulders in. He goes, oh, okay, try HK42076301222222.
All right, I try that.
1 try remaining.
Well, shoot, I really thought that one would work.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's start from the top. Let's try ah.
Okay, all A's. And enter.
The screen locks up. You can make no more attempts. The Krampus leans over the computer and says, well, Paul, your dedication to this butler bit has basically cost you your life.
What happens after you put the money around my neck?
We can continue on with the challenges if you can get up and take the money off of your neck.
Oh, so if I just lie there, then the challenge goes on forever and you never put me in the bag of torment?
I did not say that. But you know what? Maybe I'll set you on fire at the same time. I'll do both if you take too long.
Okay. Well, get up.
Are you just trying to get inside the computer? Maybe you can just take it apart. The Krampus Jr. pulls the desktop out from under the desk and begins to pry it open.
Yes, you do that.
Paul, I just wanted to say, looking at your imminent failure, I'm sorry I pushed you off of the, that thing back there's the platforms.
Why did you do that?
Well, you disrespected me. You made me angry. You were asking
Will
for
you
it.
Stand 3 feet away from me, please?
Fine. I will stand 3 feet away and think about you.
Oh, dude, you better worry about that when Hitler thinks about you. That's probably like...
Come over here, Dahmer. Let's have a discussion.
Oh, I don't know, dude. I don't really like to discuss things.
No. Come here, Dahmer. Dahmer, between you and me, I think Paul is losing his nerve. He's not even trying to get us out of the bag of torment.
Yeah, he hasn't even tried the phones.
I think you and I need to work together to make sure that Paul does not get away with stabbing us in the back.
Okay.
So I can rely on you.
Oh, absolutely. Jeffrey Dahmer is the most reliable human being in the entire universe.
Great. Good. I knew you were a good man.
Totally.
Okay, go over there and try and act natural.
Well, I would act natural, but I'm gonna need a beer.
Okay, just act nervous and like you're having alcohol withdrawal.
Yeah, all right, can do. I guess I walk over in the corner and sweat.
Paul, I don't want to alarm you, but I just had a chat with Dahmer, and I think he is out to get you.
Hitler, I asked you to stand 3 feet away from me.
I am trying to help you, Paul. I am creating a good situation for you, and you are throwing it back in my face.
No, you know what the problem is? The problem is I'm trying to go about this in the direct way. Krampus Jr., have you ever seen New York?
Krampus Jr. looks up from his computer, which he has successfully pried open. He's holding several pieces of it in his hand. He goes, no, I haven't. By the way, are these the things you're looking for?
Oh, those are them. Thank you. I guess take the hard drive or whatever and put it in my pocket.
No problem.
Well, how would you like to go out and look around New York? We could go to Central Park, We could, I think everything is closed just about, but maybe we could get a pizza.
Oh, I've heard about pizza.
Yes, I bet pizza is famous wherever you're from.
Is it true that you squeeze the skin of the pizza from a cow?
Sort of.
Do I get to meet the cow?
Generally, no.
Aww.
But who knows what interesting things you'll see. Come on, let's go downstairs. Is that fine, Mr. Krampus?
The Krampus folds his arms and says, if you're committed to being destroyed by your own money, which let's be honest, you were never going to get out of in the first place, I suppose you can gleefully waste the last few hours on Earth.
Then gleeful I shall be. Hitler and Dahmer, you are welcome to stay here and not follow us.
I don't think so. You're not going to leave without me.
Unsupervised?
No. Dahmer and Hitler have to go with you, Paul.
Well, fine. It's New York during the bar crawl hours. You'll fit right in.
You guys get in the elevator, you go down, someone tries to stop you from leaving because they don't recognize you, but then they realize you're leaving, and they're just like, never mind. You get outside in front of the building, and Hitler, a guy walks up to you, and then grabs your wallet and runs away.
Oh, hey! That man stole my wallet! Hey!
He turns the corner. He's gone. No one is helping you.
But that man stole the Führer's wallet!
What did you even have in your wallet?
Deutsch money and pictures of Eva Braun.
Well, he's in for a surprise then, isn't he?
Imagine the egg on that guy's face.
It's the principle of the thing. I am the Führer. You can't just pickpocket the Führer.
Well, evidently you can, because he just did.
Krampus Jr. goes, wow, my very first mugging.
Oh, that wasn't a mugging. That was a theft.
Wow, my very first theft.
And the night is only young. Come on, let's go find pizza.
You guys find your way to a pizza parlor where they serve pizza late night.
Does it look too fancy? Because I think I have to use my own credit card, and I don't know if it can be that fancy.
A moderate-looking pizza joint.
Okay, so New York does two types of pizzas. You can either get fancy business district pizza, or you could get the greasy garbage that they sell to almost everyone else.
What's the difference?
The greasy garbage is better.
Wow.
I mean, it's worse for you, but it tastes better. Go on in, approach the counter, and say, Garçon, I would like to buy a pizza and also pay for the pizza of everyone in the place and everyone who's got an order.
The cashier looks at you and he goes, why, are you on drugs?
No, I'm dying. I have cancer, and I'm going to die. And so everyone gets a free pizza.
Shoot, bud. Sorry to hear that. You sure? I don't know if I can take free cancer money.
It is my dying wish. It's like a Make-A-Wish thing, only for adults.
You're absolutely sure. It feels really slimy, really greasy, and this is a pizza joint, so you know when something feels too greasy.
Yes, it's my dying wish. I'm dying of cancer. Will you let me buy everyone a pizza?
Okay, all right. One pizza, and everybody else, your pizzas are on the house. There's a small cheer. Hey! The Krampus looms over you and says, look at the small joy that you're spreading. You know, you could have done this all your life, Sprinkle-Winker.
No, I couldn't. I can't even afford this. But if I'm going in a bag of torture, who cares? It's all going on the credit card.
The cashier goes, all right, that's going to be about $640.
Yes, whatever.
Why is this pizza so floppy? You know, German pizza would be engineered far more efficiently.
Krampus Jr. says, oh my god, it's so fatty.
Yes, if you give it a pinch, you can watch the grease roll down like a funnel.
I can't believe I've never tried this before. Krampus Sr. says, don't tell your mother.
So what do you guys want to go do after this? Do you want to see the Twin Towers?
No.
I want to find that man who stole my wallet.
We're not going to find the man who stole your wallet.
The cashier looks over at you guys and he says, so hey, what's up with your Hitler impersonator there? You do birthdays, guy?
No, I do not do birthdays.
Don't worry about him. He's in character all the time.
Who pays for a Hitler impersonator?
Dunking booths, mostly.
Hey, well, why don't you say something that only Hitler would say?
Excuse me, I'm not some freak show. I am the Führer. I am Hitler himself.
Yeah, you're not so good. I could do better. Mein Kampf. Mein Kampf.
That's not how I sound. You think that's how I sound? That's not how I sound.
Eat your pizza, Hitler.
No, I will not. I throw my pizza on the floor.
Oh, come on, buddy. Why you gotta be like that?
Mein Kampf was a very serious book. I wrote it while I was in prison. I was being persecuted.
Dude, this guy is way in character.
Oh, he's one of the best.
So dunking booths, you say?
I will dunk your booth in the gas chambers. Which, of course, I know nothing about. They are just a myth.
Well, to be honest, I don't know what to do next in New York. I mean, we could go see the landmarks. There's the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's New York.
You have practically infinite money, Paul, the Krampus says. You could be doing anything. You're going to sit here in a pizza parlor and eat sad pizza? The cashier goes, hey, it's not sad pizza.
Wait, can he see you?
Yes, but he just sees a very tall friend. He doesn't actually see the Krampus.
Well, I mean, the fact of it is, I don't know. Given just a few hours left to live, I don't know what I would want to do. I never settled down. I was sort of married to my job.
Well, Sprinkle-Winker, they say that money can't buy happiness, and I suppose that you are living proof. I would say that you are an anomaly, but you are not.
Oh no, Mr. Sprinkle-Winker never did seem happy.
You're quite comfortable, though.
Oh, comfortable, yes, but happy, no. You could see it in his Twitter post. He'd be on there all day long complaining about this and that.
Krampus Jr. says, "What's a Twitter?" Krampus Sr. says, Nothing. It's evil. Don't worry, it's evil." Oh.
What about you, Krampus? Are you happy with your line of work?
Oh, I love it. That's why I quit doing the trials and more or less just gave up on judging humanity, because you all just make me feel so fulfilled all the time.
Okay. I get it. You know, this is just me talking, the end of the world kind of speculation, but maybe the problem is you focus a little bit too much on the negatives.
People like you, Sprinkle-Winker, don't deserve to get away with what they've done. I know every last sin, every terrible thing that you've done. The meaningless little things that you do in between those sins is not enough to absolve you.
I'm not saying there should be absolution. There should be punishment, sure, but look at the state of things. Mr. Sprinkle-Winker has triumphed in the eyes of the general public. Every time he does wrong, he's resuscitated by the system that supports him. He's practically a product of society. No one likes it, or few people do anyway, but of course people follow in his footsteps when they see how well it pans out for him. He makes billions and receives awards and accolades and gets to meet with the Queen of England.
You goosed her on the buttocks during a party.
Did he?
Yes, twice, and she was mad both times.
Well, he was a scoundrel and a philanderer, but you know what? People still say the nicest things about him because people want to be inspired. They want to be inspired by greatness. They want to see reason to strive to do good in the world. That is a natural instinct people have. It is a natural inclination, and that is why they see good in evil, when evil succeeds. And you know what? I think there is a kernel of something there that we could both learn from.
We learned that humanity is nothing but gullible rubes who repeat the same evils on for eternity.
No, that is what you see, because you have all the information that all these people lack. Do you think Mr. Sprinkle-Winker really knew more than the average person? I imagine that he himself was looking for greatness among great people and yet had no peers who were truly great. So he began to believe that his own actions reflected some sort of grander purity. He tried to fill the void in a vacuum and assumed that all the accolades came because he deserved them. The fact is, perhaps by the efforts of a few wicked men, greatness has not been elevated as well as it should be. And those evil men who bring around such a world do deserve some sort of comeuppance. But much more importantly, we must elevate people who do well, who do good.
You know, I had the exact same thought. We should have the good people breed, and then we should do something about the bad
Hitler!
people.
I was trying to make a heartfelt
Oh,
speech!
yeah, real original. Oh, is there something wrong with society? We should improve society.
Slap Hitler.
At least I did something when I waxed philosophical.
Your brain is made of wax! Tackle.
Hitler and Paul go to the ground. You're wrestling and rolling around on a greasy pizza floor.
Try and fishhook Hitler. You're ruining a beautiful message I was getting through to the Krampus!
Bite Paul's finger.
Ah!
You don't understand greatness. Himmler had it all figured out. He bred chickens.
I'll kill you!
Not if Germany kills you first.
All right. The Krampus picks the two of you up and splits you apart. All right, you idiots, you're supposed to work against each other, but this is just dumb.
Get over here. I will kick you in your teeth.
I am not like him.
Yes, Paul, I'm well aware that you believe that you're more of a visionary than Hitler.
Who doesn't believe that these days?
I meant we should see the good in people, not that we should punish them all the time.
I did see the good in people. I saw the good and I tried to make them have sex. So they would have good babies.
I don't mean as a eugenics thing. Krampus, please. What I mean to say is we have to create good in the world if we want to see good in the world.
Yeah, sure. But I'm not really all about creating good in the world. I'm not here to arbitrate how humanity should go forward. I really come at the end of things and then assess how you've done.
But why? It's all after the fact. No wonder you have poor job satisfaction. What difference can you possibly be making?
What do you think, Paul? That you're going to cut me down and I'll realize, oh, I shouldn't be punishing Paul now. Why, who am I?
I don't know, I've always been powerless. I'm just saying there has to be a better way than this. There has to be a better way than everyone being powerless and then just suffering at the end of the day.
That's life, Paul.
And is that not what Hitler said when he ruined millions of lives?
Actually,
He said that for the better greatness that life just has to be. It's also
I
small-minded. Who cares if you punish me after
I
I'm
was
gone?
far more eloquent than that.
What good does it do for everybody else?
I take satisfaction in it.
And tomorrow, if your son were to take this mantle, would you be satisfied to know that he carries on in the cruelty that you profess to stand against?
I would know that he carries on an important tradition of punishment that must be upheld. I have been doing this for many, many hundreds of years, far longer than you've lived, Paul. Quite a number of you in this bag are eloquent speakers. I'm not going to be turned around on the snap of a finger.
Then I suppose it remains a fact that evil rarely sees reason.
Paul, I believe it is time that you see the futility of your efforts. Because each of the punishments that will befall you are created by you yourself. I have little say in the matter. And though you cannot turn me, I, with the snap of a finger, may turn you. The Krampus reaches up and he snaps his finger. Everything goes dark, and then you find yourself sitting in a dark room with a small sconce lighting the area. They say that when you die, you cannot take it with you, but your money binds to the soul like an iron chain. No matter what you do, the weight of your sinful cash will hang upon you. All I do now is hang the money which clings to your soul around your neck. What you have not spent, and what you have spent in vain, will now crush you. The Krampus plunges his hands into your back. It's icy and cold, like knives ripping into you. And then it's quickly over as he pulls out chains and drapes them around your neck. He wraps them around a little while and says, What is this? What is this? Where's the rest of them? He drives his hands into your back again and then comes up empty-handed.
Ooh. Yes, I think you'll find my bank account is a bit more shallow than you anticipated.
But your Swiss bank account alone should be enough to crush you.
Oh, you know about the Swiss story?
Yes, well, as I have been saying, I am the butler! I am not Sprinkle-Winker!
No. It's been so long since I've done this trial. Clearly, the mortals have invented some new diabolical form of accounting. Oh, you thought you'd get one over on the Krampus, did you, Sprinkle-Winker? Befuddle me with your words, and then turn around with your evil math!
Are you admitting that you're not omniscient, Krampus?
Silence! I don't know how, but the weight of your soul won't crush you alone. But that doesn't mean you've escaped the bag of torment, Paul. Krampus Jr. runs up and tugs on his dad's arm. Does that mean I get to do mine next? Can I do mine next, huh? Are we gonna do my trial? His dad goes, Yes, of course. He pats his son on the head. Yes, I did promise you'd get to do half the trials. Oh boy, okay, mine's really good. You guys aren't gonna pass mine. A new door opens up and Krampus Jr. scampers through excitedly. Krampus Sr. turns to you. Oh, Paul, you think you've outsmarted me, but now you've fully grasped my attention. I will figure out how you beat this trial. Oh, and there will be a reckoning. Now come along, my son awaits.
I sure hope he spikes the eggnog this time.
I just hope it's not another frivolous test.
You have your eye on me, Krampus, but I'm watching you.
This time, there's no hallway in the portal. When you guys emerge, you find yourself surrounded by jagged candy cane trees. The landscape is colorful, but also a little bit nauseating because it seems as though whoever designed it didn't really understand color theory and did not understand what they were doing.
It looks like a coloring book in here.
Krampus Jr. leaps out from behind a tree. Welcome to Candy Country!
What is your major export here?
Coal?
Ah, I see. And are there any German speakers in this country?
No.
Oh. So you're discriminating against the German peoples then?
I don't know, maybe. Anyway, the object of this game is tag, but also it's a race. Okay, so what we're gonna do is someone is it, and then we have to race all the way to the end of Candy Country, and then if anyone except for me is it at the end of the race, then Paul loses.
Wait. So I have to beat you in a race after tagging you?
Yep. And then Krampus Jr. tags you and goes, "No tag backs!" And he runs off at completely inhuman speeds. There is no way you will ever catch him. He's gone into the woods before you can even protest.
But then what? Oh, okay.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Paul.
Krampus Sr. sneers. Well, Paul, I did say I was going to put you in the bag if you failed the next challenge. Too bad, such a shame.
Krampus, you know, this just validates the worldview of the people that you're punishing. Most of them have this insane Darwinistic theory that we should never cooperate and everything should be a competition. If you have to exclude certain people from winning all the time, then of course some people are going to lose. But again, I'm not really sure where the moral virtue comes in.
These are sour grapes, cried the fox.
No. Okay, listen. Hitler, did you ever get picked on as a child? I mean, were you yelled at often?
Ah, yes. Everyone doubted me when I was young. I was constantly marginalized, constantly persecuted. But just look where I turned up. Shows them, doesn't it?
Yes, and Jeffrey Dahmer. You grew up in a very difficult household, didn't you?
I don't really want to talk about it.
I mean, there was problems in your family that the press didn't really get into.
Maybe. I don't know. I told you I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, right. So there's a cycle of abuse, and just because people who have been abused get into power doesn't mean they need to use that power to abuse people.
Well, maybe when you're the Krampus, you can work it out with hugs. But you know what, Paul? Maybe you're right. Maybe I should give you a chance. Here, you can tag me, and then I'll go tag my son.
Well, I don't think your son is going to appreciate that.
Right, but I'm the only one who could possibly catch him, so if you want him to come back here and play tag with you, you have to tag me.
All right, fine. I'm going to trust you. I'm going to tag you. Here you go, Krampus.
Don't trust him, he's the enemy.
Yeah, Paul, he's obviously going to mess you up.
No, it's fine. I'm putting it all on the line. I'm going to let the Krampus decide unilaterally how this should go. And I tag the Krampus.
You tag the Krampus, and then he just stands there.
Well, are you going to go?
Oh, who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just remembered I'm still a dick.
Why do you get off on this?
Does it
What
make
is
you
this?
mad? Does it make you mad?
Yes, it does, clearly.
Well, then I'm happy.
You aren't happy. You're miserable. You're trying to kick other people down the rungs so that you feel like you're higher up on the ladder.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. The Krampus magically conjures up some bottled water. Oh, are you thirsty, Paul? Would you like some bottled water?
I would like a tall glass of justice is what I would like.
Oh, well, sorry, bottled water is $4. And justice is even more expensive. Do you have any idea how much a lawyer costs? Of course you do. You've got several on retainer.
Well, where is my Krampus lawyer? I mean, I should at least get a public Krampus defender.
Or how about we settle out of court and you agree to go in the bag of torment forever?
So that's how he got me. Paul, don't do that. That's how he got me.
Yeah, he was like, you have to go in the bag. I thought I had to go.
Wait, do I have to agree to get in the bag of torment?
That or fail the trials.
Well, now this just really is exactly like dealing with Mr. Sprinklewinker. I barely see a difference.
That's the point, Paul. It's an ironic punishment. You are being unfairly punished, and there's no way for you to get out of it, just like everybody else who you've brought to suffering over your lifetime. You are a horrible person, and now you're going to experience the same thing that you put other people through.
Well, why even have the trials?
That is why I don't do the trials anymore!
Because they're badly designed on purpose!
You are badly designed! You are critically flawed people! At least you realize the irony. You know, Hitler and Dahmer still don't get it.
What's there to understand? I was unfairly put in the bag. My methods were completely fair and objective and immaculate.
Yeah, and you know, what I did was kind of cool if you think about it.
None of it is cool! You guys are not cool! You guys do not understand what you're being punished for!
Well, so now this is it then. I have to be unfairly punished because that's the system that you've created, so now we're just going to stand around until... What?
Until Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer understand what they did wrong!
So until the sun burns out, I guess.
Krampus, I think the problem is you're the one who's done something wrong, and neither myself nor Dahmer, whatever he did anything wrong.
Well, let's not say that nobody has ever done anything wrong. Some of us have done things that are more morally reprehensible than others, but let's just say everyone here has certain regrets.
Why did you look at me when you mentioned reprehensible behavior,
Sprinklewinker, you are just as bad as Hitler. You think you haven't done anything either. Certain regrets do not even begin to explain the breadth of your sins.
I mean, just once again, I want to reiterate I'm the butler and not actually Mr. Sprinklewinker, so I'm finding out about his sins as you tell them to me.
It's so infuriating.
Okay, so what I'm gathering is that what you want is for people to be punished and to also understand why they're being punished. Do you ever sit down and, demonstrate to them why they're being punished?
I mean, you do that for the first 6,000 or so humans, and then at some point...
You've made this your job.
At some point... You just get sick of them telling you how they know better than you.
So what do you want me to say? That you're better than me? That you've made a correct moral judgment?
I have watched civilizations rise and fall, and I can finger who exactly is responsible for it. Do I need to remind you about the bailouts after the housing crash that you contributed to, Mr. Sprinklewinker?
Wait, he was involved with that?
Yes! Yes, you were involved with that!
Well, look. Okay, obviously you have 6,000 years to grow inured to the pleas of mortals, so let's just go ahead, and I'm going to look at the rest of Candy Country, and then when I find your son at the end and we've completely and totally lost, I'm going to give him an objective assessment of his work, so he feels like it wasn't wasted.
Yes, fine. You do that. And then you'll get in the torture bag because you suck, and you suck Hitler, and you suck Jeffrey Dahmer, and everyone in this bag, they all suck.
Fine.
Fine, good.
Well, I think it has become apparent to me that heavy as the brows that wears the crown, I think you would be hard-pressed to find a single world leader who hasn't made a few difficult decisions.
The Krampus turns inside out and is gone.
Wow. Do you think he's dead?
Well, I hope not, Dahmer, because he was it, and if he no longer exists, then how will any of us become it?
Well, I hope we can catch up to Krampus Jr. so we can clarify the rules.
Yes, your standard game of tag doesn't have rules for if one of the participants implodes.
I suppose it doesn't. I'm also not sure which way the end of Candy Country is. Let's just walk, I don't know, towards the sun and hope for the best.
You guys begin walking towards the sun, which is a mix of green and also like marigold yellow.
Like half and half, or...
Like swirls. Like it was being colored one way and then he suddenly changed his mind and started to color it another way.
Okay. So is the whole light of the area kind of a sickly yellow-green?
Yeah, it really just looks like the color wheel threw up all over Candy Country.
Well, that'll be the first thing I have to bring up, I suppose.
The dirt appears to be made out of chocolate powder, which kicks up and it's like fine particles, so it kind of really sucks walking around in it.
Oh, goodness. I guess pull my shirt up over my face.
That'll work. You guys hide your faces in your shirts and march on. The candy cane forest doesn't go very long, and soon you find yourself in the molasses bog. There's really no choice but to wade into it, and the molasses reaches up to your chest. It's incredibly slow going and very exhausting. The next time you get to slightly high ground, the sun is just about going down. The moon is coming up, and it looks like it's maybe made of cheese.
Well, that's not even candy right there.
No, it is not really. It just looks like cheese, though. It's hard to say. Like, it's mostly white, but then there's flecks of blue in there that makes it kind of look like blue mold.
Well, okay. I guess we'll try to rest on some high ground and not drown in molasses.
Paul, I've been thinking maybe instead of getting back into the torture bag, which, while fun, is also endless torture, what if we just drag this out and see what we can find in Candy Country? Maybe there's candied hams and candied yams.
Yeah, but if we can't find any real food, then we could also draw straws, and whoever gets the smallest straw, well, traditionally, like sailors would sometimes eat the guy, if they had to.
I am mortified to find out what Sprinklewinker has in common with you, Dahmer.
Yeah, I've been wondering that myself.
What is it that you did, Dahmer?
It was the king of Bavaristan.
Bavaristan? Where's Bavaristan?
It formed after the war, the Second War.
That would explain it.
After you guys finally get settled in and quiet down, you hear quiet sobs off in the distance. Sounds like a child crying.
Do you guys hear that?
Yes, sounds like weakness. We should probably ignore it. It's probably a trap.
Well, what if it's not a trap? I mean, why bother? Who cares either way?
This entire world is out to get us, Paul. What do you mean it might not be a trap? Of course it is.
I just mean we're already so far beyond the point of return, we may as well try to help a crying child, if there is a crying child here in Candy Kingdom.
I'll go check it out on my own if you guys want to get rest.
No, absolutely not. Now, okay, I cannot go to bed without checking on the child. Come on, let's go.
Oh, come on, it's probably nothing. Don't worry about it.
All right, get up and then slog my way through the bog towards the crying child.
You fight your way through the molasses under the light of the cheese moon until you find yourself looking at the Krampus Jr., who's sitting on a chocolate log. He's sobbing, and it sounds like he's trying to stop himself but not having a lot of success.
Oh, Krampus Jr., are you all right?
He looks up and tries even harder to stop himself from crying, but that just makes it worse. He goes, I'm fine.
Hold on, I'm going to come over. I have to wade through the bog.
Krampus Jr. keeps fighting his tears, but he scoots over so you can sit down.
Okay, pull myself up on the log and sit next to him.
Let me try. I'm great with kids.
You stay down in the bog.
Oh, come on. This is my element.
Shush. Push Dahmer away with my foot.
How come you guys aren't chasing me.
Oh, Krampus Jr.? Well, we're doing our best, but the terrain is just so very difficult.
But you guys, I thought I've been waiting for you guys to chase me, and you.
No, look, I know you're so very fast, but we're just people. Krampus Jr., I'm so sorry. We're just humans. You see, we have to stay with our feet on the ground. We only really travel at about 7 miles per hour at best. And, well, when you throw in molasses as terrain or chocolate dust which kicks up and stings our eyes, there's not much we can do.
Oh, I've never really raced people before.
Well, I'm sorry. I wish I could have done better. I didn't mean to make you sad. It's a fine race, though. What a delightful idea, Candy Country.
You like it?
Yes. We were just joking. I don't suppose there's any candied hams or candied yams.
Candied yams aren't really candy.
I know, but as an adult, you develop a different palate. Me and all the other adults thought that candied yams would really hit the spot.
You guys are silly.
Well, things are as they are. Krampus Jr., I do appreciate you trying to put forward a challenge that you think is fair to everyone. Don't get discouraged. We can't do everything right the first time. Life is that way. If we could only relive things over again, who knows what we might do differently.
I know for fun I would capture England much faster.
Shut up, Hitler.
So do you guys want to keep playing tag?
Well, we would, but the problem is we tagged your father, and then he turned inside out and he's gone, which I think is the equivalent to taking your ball and going home.
That's not how you play tag. If you're it, you can't just not chase people.
Well, I don't think that was explicitly stated in the rules.
But if he's it, you have to tag someone else. You don't want to be it. That's the whole point.
Well, here's the thing about games. You have to establish rules and make sure that everyone is on the same level playing field, or otherwise, you don't really have a game, do you?
Krampus Jr. hops off the log. Dad! Krampus Sr. unfolds in front of your very eyes. What? I've been waiting for you at the end of the country. What's going on, Junior? Dad, these guys say you're not playing tag right. Oh, they're saying that, are they? And who are they to decide what's right and what's wrong? You're not playing tag right. If you're it, you have to chase them and make them be it. Krampus Sr. gets down on his knees, and he goes, Krampus Jr., honey, you have to understand that these guys like to lie and to cheat when they play games. So when we play with them, we have to lie and cheat too. Krampus Jr. goes, but then how are they supposed to play? Krampus Sr. looks kind of baffled by this. He looks over at you guys.
We would earnestly like a fair game, Krampus.
You don't deserve one.
Well, all the same, it's really not a game unless there's fair rules, isn't it?
It's not a game.
Well, it's not anything unless the rules are fair and everyone is on equal footing.
Krampus Jr. goes, Dad, it's not even fun. It doesn't even feel real if everybody is cheating. You have to let everybody play. Krampus Sr. says, well, but look, if there was a loophole, they would use it.
Then close the loopholes, Krampus.
Krampus Jr. goes, I want to be it. You have to tag me. Krampus Sr. says, okay, all right. I'll tag you. And he tags his son. Krampus Jr. turns around and he goes, okay, I've got a new idea. How about I chain myself to a huge rock to slow me down, and then that would be fair.
That's very kind of you, Krampus Jr. I do have to ask, though, exactly where is the end of the country?
Well, at the rate that everybody was going, I guess you guys would get there in like 3 months.
Perhaps in my house that would be
that
fine.
seems a bit of a long march. Is there any way we could petition for just the length of a football field or something?
Oh, okay, sure. Krampus Jr. claps his hands and the entirety of the country shrinks around you. Now suddenly you're like giants towering over a massive game board. You can see the door you came from here where you stand, and the door to get out about 100 yards away. Krampus Jr. chains himself to a mountain. He goes, okay, this ought to slow me down. So I'm it again, and I guess go.
Oops, start to run.
You run. And when you look back over your shoulder, you see that Krampus Sr. has got his finger on the mountain and he's holding it down so his son can barely make any progress moving that mountain. He's looking back at you with this kind of baleful, hate-filled glower.
Oh, now that is just not right.
Well, come on, Paul, keep going. If the Krampus wants to punish his own son, let him be a father.
No. Go back and dance around in front of the Krampus Jr. I think you've just about got me. And then hold out my hand so he can tag me.
The Krampus Jr. enthusiastically tags you.
Now looks like I'm it. And now you're it, Krampus. Tag the Krampus.
The Krampus looks at you like he's gonna knock your block off.
Well, don't just stand there dawdling. You better get somebody. No tag backs.
The Krampus Sr. lets go of the mountain, and his son runs off at about the speed of you guys. He goes, and he kind of, saunters up and then tags Hitler.
No, not me. I don't want to be it. Dama, you're it now.
No, man, I'm so bad at this game. I can never tag anybody. Oh, God.
Krampus Jr. runs up to you and goes, that's okay, you can tag me. His dad slaps his palm over his own face.
Really? Oh, thank God I was already getting a side stitch and I wasn't even running. I tag Krampus Jr.
He tags Paul again.
Tag the Krampus.
The Krampus dances away from you. He goes, not this time.
Okay, fine, tag Hitler.
But I was just it. Elvis, is the Krampus Jr. trying to escape? Because if he gets to the door, he wins, right?
He's actually not. He's just running around playing tag like it's regular tag.
Oh, okay. I guess, tag Dahmer again.
Oh, man.
Krampus Jr. lets you tag him again.
Well, I guess we just have a good time and play tag until Krampus Jr. seems happy.
Sure, you guys go on. Krampus Jr. is having a lot of fun. Everyone gets a lot of exercise. Krampus Sr. even seems to kind of warm up to it after a little while because his kid is having such a good time. Finally, it looks like Krampus Jr. is tired.
Whew. Well, Krampus Jr., that has been a blast. But, I don't suppose you'd mind if I go ahead and tag you and go for the door so we can see the rest of the trials, would you?
Oh, no. This was a lot of fun. Okay, you go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Let's see what the next one is. I go for the door.
You guys step through the next door and find yourselves in a vast empty room. Before you is a table with a bunch of carved stone figurines sitting on top of it. The Krampus heads towards the head of the table and motions for you to look around. He says, the next challenge is going to be a little game. Paul, Hitler, the two of you fancy yourselves as world leaders, so this'll be a game that you're familiar with. It's called Crisis Diffusion.
Ah, yes, I'm very familiar with Crisis Diffusion. See, what you get is, well, I need Himmler. He would be great for this.
The Krampus says, there is no Himmler, there's only yourselves. He points at the figures. He says, these figures, and okay, this one is a salt shaker. Krampus Jr. broke one of the figurines when I was showing him the challenge earlier, so this one's a salt shaker. Anyway, these figurines are the people of your little island nation. You are the chieftains of this island nation. The most decisive moment in your history.
Question, what nationality are these people?
They're just stone figurines. They're meant to represent people.
Yes, but let's say, are they dark-skinned, or...
They're people. They're made out of different types of stone. They will just look like little stone people to you.
Okay, so there's no racial advantages then.
Krampus Jr. goes, the salt shaker's full of salt.
I would like to play as the salt shaker.
How do you know that's one of the better game pieces?
Because it, this is a salt is white. This is salt is white.
Okay, all right, thanks, Hitler.
You're welcome. Using my brilliant Hitler logic, I have deduced that the salt shaker is the best piece.
You cannot be the salt shaker. There are chieftain pieces. There are 3 chieftain pieces. See? They have necklaces that tell you that they're the chieftain.
Well, why didn't you say so? How am I supposed to know the salt shaker isn't a chieftain?
You're supposed to wait until I'm done explaining the game. Krampus reaches out and grabs into your chest, Paul, and he yanks out your soul, and then he shoves it into the little figurine that he's holding. The figurine comes to life, and it's under your control.
Oh, touch my face. Oh, I'm a little stone man.
Yes, and here you go. He lowers you down onto the game board, and it's as though you were on a little island nation, surrounded by other little stone people in little stone skirts, pushing around little carved canoes and carrying fishnet made out of string.
Oh, my goodness.
Dahmer and Hitler, the two of you are placed down next to Paul soon.
Oh, well, I guess we just played Candyland, so...
Well, at least the rules in Candyland were more clear.
If I can be honest, I don't feel like a very lucky individual lately. I'm glad we're not rolling dice or drawing cards.
I'd prefer cards. Did you know you can drug your opponent?
Not legally.
Paul, gambling is illegal. If you're already gambling, you may as well go all the way.
In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say.
One of the little stone figurines runs up to you. He looks panicked. He says, my lords, oh great chieftains, there's new people, outsiders to the island. They've come and they've said that they want us to surrender right away, or they'll kill us all, including the women and the children.
Okay, hold on. I'm still getting my bearings. Just let me...
I know what this is. It's the European settlers. Just gives him all the gold.
We don't have any gold, my lord. I don't know why you think we would.
We don't have gold? Are we not Indians? Of course we have gold. Give them the gold.
Lord, we have fish and clams. We have many clams. We are rich in clams.
Fellas, they're never going to be happy with clams.
Okay, I think I have my bearings. Young stone figurine man. Which way did these interlopers come from?
Great stone chief. They came from the north.
Well, there goes my plan. If they were attacking from the east or west, we could counterattack when the sun was rising or setting, and it would be in their eyes.
A brilliant strategy, my lord. Very, very intelligent for you to think of that so fast.
Yes, but they're in the north, so it's all kind of a waste.
Well, don't sell yourself short. I'm sure we could sail out to the east or west flank and then attack them that way.
You want us to gather up our warriors and then attack them from boats onto land?
The sun would be in their eyes, Lowry. I don't expect you to understand military genius, but I was in charge of Germany, and I conquered England.
No, you didn't. I was born well after that whole thing.
Oh, you were? Well, I conquered France.
That you did, yeah, I guess so.
See, so there you are.
Actually, hold on. We may be jumping the gun. Little stone man, where are these others? Like pale skin, pale stone?
No, they speak our language, sir, but it's a different dialect. I don't know where they're from.
Yes. Okay. A scuffle between savages, then. Then, don't give them the gold. Instead, we must convert over to superior German culture.
What is a German?
I'm glad you ask. We can start with the Wiener Schnitzel and then work our way up to trains.
Never mind, Chief Hitler. He is drunk. Where is the leader of the warriors? Let's get everyone together.
Sirs, you are the leaders of the warriors. We are a small island of about 800 people. Most of us are scavengers and hunters, and we hunt for clams. I know you are very busy, and they say that the upper classes are sometimes out of touch. So I will patiently answer any further questions, my lords.
Okay, and about how many of these others did you see?
I don't know, my lord, but I would estimate somewhere between a few hundred, maybe 400 at most.
Oh, so we outnumber them.
If I'm the leader of the warriors, can you hand me that spear over there?
This one, sir? The little guy goes up and he picks up a spear.
Yes, that one. Can you hand that to me?
Sure, sir. And he hands you the spear.
Thank you. Stab him.
Hitler!
What did I do?
My God, Hitler!
Oh my God! Everybody looks up from their work. They're all really startled.
Hitler, why did you do that?
He was talking down to the chieftains. We have no need for anyone who doesn't believe in us.
Hitler, we only outnumber them like 2 to 1. There's 800 people on this island. If you kill more than a couple dozen, then we are at a disadvantage.
They'll still have, we'll outnumber them 1.5 to 1.
As one of the chieftains of this island, I demand that we eat the body of this slain enemy now to gain his power for the coming war.
Tomer, no!
The wife of the little stone man runs up and she goes, "Oh no! Tabu! You were too young! We are going to have a baby!"
Oh, good Lord. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I did not agree with Chief Hitler.
Prod Paul in the back. You want to be next, then?
No. No, I do not. I mean, your methods are cruel, but stabby.
That's right, they're stabby. Very to the point. I am an effective leader. Now, everyone gather around. We are under assault, and I'm going to explain to you how Hitler will make things better for everyone. First things first, show of hands, who here thought I shouldn't have stabbed Tabu?
Several hands go up, including Tabu's pregnant wife. She looks very mad.
Okay, so as chieftain, I want to experiment with a new form of debate. Everyone go in that lodge over there, and then I'm going to give an argument, and then afterward, you can come out, and then I will go in the lodge, and you will make your arguments. Okay? All right, everyone, go in the lodge. Go in the lodge.
They all go into the lodge.
Okay, all right, get some wood. Bar the door. Can you hand me that torch, please?
Somebody hands you a torch.
Thank you. Set the lodge on fire.
Well, there's screams from inside, and the people all standing around look completely aghast, but you are the chieftains, and this is your law.
Yes, good. And now we are all better off, because as your Führer, I will make the world a better place. This island is now under my control, and we will continue to look for dissidents as they arise. Any further questions or complaints?
Well, if I may, as one among shall we say, somewhat equals, won't this leave us terribly demoralized?
Well, some would say that. But, the ones who like me will be galvanized. So, we break even. Right? Point to the crowd. Nod your heads, yes.
People obediently nod their heads yes.
See, we have made everything work. Now everyone will listen to me, and we are on the right track.
Did anyone else see the dangerous outsiders or know anything about them besides Tabu?
The salt shaker in the back raises his hand and says, I think Tabu spoke to his wife about it.
Okay, and she was in the shack. That's great.
Dibs on the bodies.
You know what? No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Paul. You were supposedly a world leader in life, yes? So now's your chance to prove to the Krampus that you are a good world leader. This proves that our way of doing things is the correct way of doing things, because these people could not have saved themselves. They were culturally inferior to us. But with our educated Western leadership, we will see to it that they survive whatever stupid tribal thing is happening right now.
Burning people alive for disagreeing with you seems a little tribal, man.
No, they've learned fear. They're tribals. They need to learn fear before they learn respect.
You over there, get me some liquor. What do we have? Fermented yams? Fermented clams? Just get me something to drink.
You just aren't sinking in their mindset, Paul. Tribals don't think like you and me. They were going to turn on us at a moment's notice. We could never trust them. But now that they know that we will burn them alive for not doing what we say, now we can trust them. I have saved us all. I am this nation's greatest leader.
Also, so long as we're on the tribal thing, you know tribals are really into cannibalism. We need to have these people prepared to be eaten.
I don't know about that.
Look, I don't think that these people want to be led by a madman who's going to burn whole lodges full of people.
Yes, they do. Just watch. Hey, was anyone out here mad at Tabu for something? Did he do something wrong?
The salt shaker goes, well, he did take my net without asking.
Well, I knew about that, Salt Shaker. And it filled me with such fury to think about how he had wronged you. How dare Tabu take your net without asking? Tabu just walked away with that. He got away with it until I took charge. And all the people in the lodge, they were also thieves of nets and clams. My killing them has cleansed us of a burden.
A couple of people start to clap, and the salt shaker goes, yeah, Tabu's not that great. He was kind of condescending. Hoity-toity, he who, first talks to the chieftains. I could be first who talks to the chieftains. I could.
Well, under the new Reich, you shall be he who talks first to the chieftains. Salt Shaker, I hereby elevate you to position of first guy who talks to the chieftains. Come up here.
Salt shaker goes up there. He's all pumped up. He's like, yeah. And the crowd kind of gets into it a little bit more. Some of them are applauding because they're scared. Others are genuinely getting into it.
We're in a time of crisis. We need men like the Salt Shaker here to stand up and take charge, to take the reins. This power, this confidence is in each of you. For too long, you have been demoralized and stepped on by men like Tabu. But no more. Henceforward, there is nothing but upward progress.
Listen, Salt Shaker, you don't have to do this. I mean, we just burned an entire lodge full of people.
Hey, screw you, man. I'm the head guy who talks to the chieftains now.
Well, but doesn't that put you still below my station?
He kind of looks at Hitler, and he goes, yeah.
Oh, you see, Paul, Salt Shaker knows his place. See, I told you, my way of doing things is the way to galvanize the tribe. Now everyone is all united, and they love Hitler. They love him because he is the best.
Yes, well, okay. Well, we've rallied everyone. Everyone's all excited. Maybe let's just take some time to wind down and collect our thoughts. I feel wired like a piano string, so...
Yes, fine. Well, good first rally, everyone. Tomorrow we shall rid ourselves of these interlopers, and the day after that begins your future!
Everybody cheers! And then the crowd kind of disperses, and I guess you guys sort of split up a little bit.
I run off with an armful of whatever I can pull from that fire.
Okay, disgusting.
I'm gonna go off with Salt Shaker and start making plans to stab Paul in the back.
Okay, you and Salt Shaker plan to make this a single dictatorship. Paul, what are you up to?
I am going to sit down on a log and put my stone head in between my stone knees and try not to throw up.
Okay, while you're doing that, like a gaggle of stone men kind of come up to you and they're like, excuse me, Great Chieftain Paul?
Yes?
We are frightened of Great Chieftain Hitler, and we were hoping that maybe you could not burn more of us alive.
I would love to honor that. What's your name?
Can't.
Cantu. It is very brave of you to come to one of the chieftains after witnessing all that to ask me not to burn more of your fellow people.
Well, of course, sir. I feel like someone had to. You know, you can't just let people go around
Yes.
just
yes.
burning people alive. It's not right.
No, I
you
should
know?
say not.
The guy should speak up about that kind of thing, I think.
No, he certainly should. You're right, Cantu. You're definitely a good man for speaking up.
Thank you, sir. I feel a lot better about you having my back on this. I was really worried.
No, I agree with you.
You know what they say about those government types? They say, you know, you're out of touch, but you're one of the good ones, sir. You're one of the good ones.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yes.
I'm sure you've already been thinking about it, but what is your plan to not have this happen anymore?
My plan.
Yes, so Great Chieftain, what is your plan to not have Chief Hitler kill anyone else?
Historically, they tried to appease him.
Okay,
That didn't work.
okay.
Right, so...
Perhaps Lord Chieftain Paul could speak to Lord Chieftain Dahmer, and the two of you could outvote Lord Hitler before the next killing.
You mean take a systemic approach?
Yes, Lord Chieftain. Oh, he who reigns over the stars.
Just for a refresher, how exactly does the systemic approach work?
The Lord Chieftain wishes to know how the systemic approach works.
Yes, please indulge me.
Oh, no, I understand. It's the Socrantu method. Well, the way things normally work is the chieftains get together and they vote on a course, and then the people carry out their will.
Right, so the chieftains decide what to do together, and then everyone does what they say.
Yes, so if you and Great Chieftain Dahmer decided to not kill any more of our islanders, then
What, hypothetically, if Chieftain Hitler put together, like, say, a group of people who just killed you for not doing what he said specifically, and then told you to ignore myself and Chief Dahmer?
He simply can't do that, sir.
What if he could?
No, sir, that would go against the will of the heavens. That is not how the heavens have done things ever, so I don't think he can.
Well, what if the heavens change their mind?
The heavens are immutable, sir. They remain in place in the sky, and they guide us to and from our home. That is, that is why they are the will of the chieftains, because they are immutable. They never change.
Actually, gradually, sometimes they do.
No, we call that getting cloudy, sir. The stars stay right where they are, though. I guarantee when the clouds are gone, the stars will still be right where they were.
Okay, let's try a different tact. Let's suppose that Great Chieftain Hitler tried to navigate by the moon.
Complete madness, sir. You can't navigate solely by the moon. It moves.
It does.
That is
yes.
why we use the stars.
Yes, okay, but you can get generally a vague idea of maybe sort of what cardinal direction you're in by using the moon.
It depends entirely on the season, sir. The moon is far less reliable.
Okay, but if you only wanted just a vague general instinct of what direction to go.
You would be hopelessly lost, and you would surely starve to death out in the ocean.
Well, of course, yes, there's no debating that we would get hopelessly lost and we would die. There'd be many deaths, but I'm just saying, suppose a man were insane enough to try.
I don't think that you can be the chieftain and do that, sir.
Well, one would hope.
What exactly are you saying, sir? What is Great Lord Chieftain's desire?
I don't know. I will go and form a conference with Great Chieftain Dahmer, I suppose. Good Lord. I am going to get up and go look for Jeffrey Dahmer, knowing I'm going to regret whatever I find.
Mighty Chieftain Paul, you wander off to go find Lowry, who is doing what?
Dare you even ask?
Lowry is doing the unspeakable.
I am eating somebody's heart.
Ah, there you are. Okay.
What? This is it's a pig's heart.
I don't believe they have pigs on the island.
Then it's a clam heart.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen a clam's heart? You don't know what a clam's heart looks like. What are you, a clam expert?
I could be. You died before all this, but we have a thing called the internet now. If I weren't trapped here with you, I could get out my phone and just look up clams on the internet. Larry, do I still have my phone?
You do. You pull your phone out of your pocket, and actually, you still have bars. You can get on the internet.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Go ahead and look up clam hearts.
They're really tiny.
See, you can't fool the internet. The internet knows everything. Clam hearts are small.
Okay, you got me. You are surprisingly cool with me eating a human heart.
Well, it's a little carved stone figurine heart, so there is a level of disconnect for me.
Do you want to try one?
No.
Come on, I mean, when else are you going to get an opportunity? You're about to go in an evil bag full of torture.
Well, for all I know, they're going to make me eat hearts in the bag because I won't like it.
This sounds like a youth is wasted on the young kind of thing.
Dahmer, I know you don't fancy yourself a heroic man.
I deserved a fate worse than death. I belong in that bag.
Generally, the whole world agreed. But, do you feel like the type of man who might, get in a public fist fight with Hitler?
No.
Well, you like hurting people, right? Why not Hitler?
Oh, so what, Paul? You saw a few news stories and you think you understand me? You think that I just want to put on a show?
Yes, I think you're obsessed with lurid things and...
Well, you're right, but I do. Obviously, I don't want to just fist fight Hitler. I want to, get in there and, pull his ribs out one at a time in front of everybody, and everybody will be all like...
Okay,
"Oh."
that's not going to work.
Why not? No more Hitler, and I'm happy.
Okay, so the thing is, the problem I'm having is first of all, I don't want to do that. And second of all, I think that if I kill Hitler so that I'm in control, then I have to be the dictator, and I don't want to do that because it sounds like just constant micromanagement.
Wow, that really sucks for you.
Okay, but the other islanders, they think that if the two of us vote against Hitler, then Hitler would have to cooperate with us.
Uh-huh.
And I know that Hitler doesn't think that, but the other islanders, their opinions matter.
Yeah, I could see that.
So maybe we can do a vote and we'll say no Hitler.
I don't really want to do that.
But why?
I mean, look, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. Let's just do our own things, okay?
Oh my god. You really think Hitler's gonna let you just do this?
I mean, someone ought to stop me.
You were already stopped. You were already arrested and supposedly killed in prison, but apparently you were just stuffed into a magic bag.
Oh yeah, on that note, Paul, if I can give you some advice, the number one thing to remember is don't let them escape.
In this context? In the context of Hitler taking over?
Yeah, sure, whatever, just don't let Hitler
To
escape.
where?
Because if he gets away, he'll tell people what you're doing, and then, people will know what you're doing.
You know what? Give me that heart. You don't deserve this.
Hey, give me
No,
that back.
get away. This is mine. No, I'm throwing it in the ocean. Toss the heart in the ocean.
Hey! Oh, you know what? There's a lot of hearts still in that lodge that Hitler burned.
No more hearts for you. You stay away from there. As Grand Chieftain, I forbid it. Stop eating people.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, sure, I'll stop eating people.
Okay, good. I'm going to go think of something else.
All right, fine.
Storm off.
As soon as Paul is out of my vision range, I'm gonna go and get another heart from that lodge.
All right, Dahmer is Dahmer. Paul, what do you go do?
I guess, go and find Kantu.
Okay, Kantu is by the beach. He's making fish hooks.
Kantu, so sorry to interrupt. Are you busy?
Not particularly, no.
I just wanted to talk about that plan that we were discussing to get Jeffrey Dahmer in on our rescue plan.
Uh-huh.
And he mostly just wants to eat people.
What do you mean he wants to eat people?
I mean, he's decided he's going to eat the dead islanders, and that's where he is.
I think he was just joking with you. There's no way.
No, Chief Hitler is taking over the island with an iron fist, and Chief Dahmer is eating people, and I am at a loss.
Can't you consult with the stars?
Not until nightfall.
Okay. Do you think we're gonna last that long?
At the rate things are going, I give us until at least then.
Okay. What do you think the stars will say?
At this point, Kantu, I'm concerned the stars are going to shrug and say, you're on your own, buddy.
Okay, Lord Chieftain. Kantu kind of looks around and he goes, I don't know if you should be spreading around that kind of talk, right? Those other men, they're still coming to the island, aren't they?
Yes. Well, they ordered a surrender, and at this rate, I don't think we can do anything but surrender. Maybe I'll just go to them ahead of time and I don't know, lay down my arms or offer up my head. It's going to go very poorly.
Well, why would they let you offer surrender if they don't intend to accept it?
Do we have, oral stories about this type of thing, or I assume we don't have written language?
I don't know what written language is, so no?
Oh, hold on, let me show you. I pull out my phone and get it open, and I'm like, okay, so you see this? This is... Wait a minute, was this on my stone figurine?
Yes. And, okay, you get out your phone, and Kantu is like, whoa! What is this?
Oh, it's a phone. It's given to chieftains. Well, me, specifically. I don't believe that Dahmer or Hitler have one.
What does it do?
Well, I could set a timer, and it will make a ringing noise in about 30 minutes if I want, or I could check what time of the year it is. I have a calendar. It says what time it is, so I know when night's coming.
You have this?
Yes. In fact, we can actually look up some things about Chief Hitler or Chief Dahmer if you wanted to, but I don't think you'd like what you'd read.
This has information about the chieftains? Does it have information about the outsiders that are going to attack us?
Well, I wish I knew what they were named. Unfortunately, the only one who might have known was burned alive in a lodge. So, we are, despite our access to information, completely up a creek.
But this threat to our nation is one of the most culturally significant events in history. I mean, just look it up, the great outsiders.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that it's significant to us, but to the rest of the world at large. Here, pull out my phone, pull out a picture of the globe. Okay, so this is the entire globe, and we're like one of the islands somewhere in here. You see these continents? These are the big ones that some people are there.
Those are whole nations, and then we're like one of these little ones.
Oh, that's Japan. I believe if there's only 800 of us, we're smaller than that. We're actually not even on the map. We're so small, so.
Oh.
Yes, so a matter of consequence to us is quite insignificant.
Oh.
Right, and while I'm at it, see, the thing is, if you are a bit of a history buff, you'd find that historically, this type of thing would happen all the time. New people would show up, and they'd say, surrender or die, or they would kidnap the chieftain and say, give me all the gold and I'll release the chieftain. And all this was really doing was just causing people to lower their guard, because they'd say, well, maybe we'll negotiate for peace. And then, of course, they'd get attacked in the night and everyone would be murdered or enslaved. So.
Well, maybe they won't do that.
Well, look around. How many clams have we got to offer? How much is it worth to have them not attack us?
I will fish up as many clams as I can get today if it means that my family is not sold into slavery.
Well, Kantu, that's good, but think about how many clams you could fish up right now, and then imagine you were fishing clams for the rest of your life as a slave to these outsiders, and think of how much more value that has to them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you being in slavery is just objectively the best thing for them.
Oh, but I won't be happy as a slave. I would never fish quite as many clams.
Well, any amount of clams that you fish in excess of what you need to live is profit to them, so.
I can't be a slave. I don't want to be a slave.
Kantu, you're the only one I can trust right now. I need you to keep a level head. What do we do?
I don't know, great chieftain. You're the great chieftain. You're the one who's supposed to have the ideas.
Well, knowledge makes me a little bit cynical, Kantu. You know, this phone thing, it's a curse. It makes everyone sad.
Well, get all the men together and we'll take up arms and we'll fight them off.
Do we have any iron?
What is iron?
It's a metal that we could dig up out of the earth, and then we would smelt it at thousands of degrees and turn it into vicious tools with which to defend ourselves.
No, sir, we don't have that. We have clams.
Well, unless you can make a powerful suit of armor out of clamshells, then I think we're out of luck, Kantu.
But we have twice their number.
Yes, and if they come from a larger island nation with more resources, I guarantee you that they are more advanced than us, and do we have dedicated warriors on this island? We're just hunter-gatherers, aren't we?
You mean people whose, only job it is to kill other people? That would be insane.
Yes, well, the men who are coming to kill us, I think that's what they do professionally.
Why? Who would do that?
Large islands that are at war with other large islands would professionally hire people to kill one another, because every nation has an army inside of it, either your own or someone else's. Since we have no army, we will soon have someone else's army within it.
Maybe they'll come for your phone, your magical device. Give them the phone and they'll leave us alone.
I mean, I'll give them the phone. They're going to kill me and take it. It's not really an option for me to just give it.
But then there will be no incentive for violence.
Slavery.
No, I will give them the excess clams for free. I just don't want to be a slave.
Kantu, this is a trial. I am under trial right now, and I am being judged for how I handle this situation, and I am seeing no way out whatsoever. It's making me mad. I don't know if you have any other ideas besides just begging to not be a slave.
Why would I? The chieftains are supposed to be the ones who have all the ideas, but Chief Hitler burned a bunch of people, and you're telling me Chief Dahmer is now eating villagers.
The world is mad, Kantu. It's mad.
It was fine. Like all of yesterday. We were just fishing clams. It was fine yesterday.
All right. Okay. You know what? I've got it. So, clearly there's no way out. Sometimes, Kantu, you're just in a bind, and there's no correct answer. Obviously, we are in...
Why?
Just completely...
Why is this all happening?
But the point I was going to make, Kantu, is I think you're an all-right upstanding guy. I like you.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Well, really, that's all it comes down to, isn't it? If you can think about just one person who would benefit from well, maybe not one person, but think about how many people like you, Kantu, would benefit from just things working out a little better.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess I'm going to go and supplicate before these interlopers, and then tell them they're better than me, and to take everything, and just please please spare as many people as they can, and
But they'll still make us slaves?
probably Cantu, but I am in charge of everyone, I guess, and I guess if they have me and they take everything I'm worth and they see that we've completely submitted, then well, maybe you'll live, and that's better than you being destroyed, as much as I can say.
Should I get my family and run?
Well, that's a risk that you'll have to assess for yourself, Cantu. I can't say for sure. But if you do, good luck. I'm going to supplicate myself and hope for the best. You do what you think needs to be done, and I hope the best for you.
Okay, Cantu gets up, and he runs off.
All right. I don't know how to drive a boat. I am going to need help. Cantu, wait just a moment.
Cantu runs back to the main village. He's all in a panic. He's dragging his family out. Other people start coming out, and they're like, "What's going on, Cantu?" And he's like, the chieftain is going to supplicate before the invaders. He thinks that there's no hope. He has a magical device which told him there's no hope. The people start to mutter, "This a magical device, a magical device." Oh, here comes the chieftain. Show the mighty chieftain.
Yes. Pull out the phone and wave it around a little bit. Turn the light on. The magical device tells me that this is going to be a very, very difficult situation, and it's hard to say how it's going to play out, but historically speaking, very poorly.
Everybody starts to panic. Oh, no. Cantu goes, "Gather up your things. We have to flee the island before the invaders come." People start rushing in and out of their homes. They're getting their things.
But before anyone leaves, I'm going to need a boat to help drive me out to the interlopers.
Someone else goes, "Why? Aren't they going to kill us?"
Possibly. But I'm going to surrender to them ahead of time. If I offer them my head, then, well, that may delay them at the very least. It will buy you all time while they execute me.
Someone else goes, "Well, the great chieftain can't go alone. If he's going to buy time, maybe a few more of us could go with him. We could put up some resistance or try to stall them with peace talks."
Point to that guy. Yes, good man. We'll stall for as much time as we can. I will take some of you with me, and, well, we'll try to put on a fierce face and act like we want to talk. We'll drag things out while the rest of you flee.
"Where will we go to?" "Just get to the boat. There's no time."
Wait just a moment, everyone. Why is there so much commotion and no one informs the Führer?
Oh, Lord Chieftain Hitler. Lord Chieftain Paul has a magical device which tells him the future.
Well, it doesn't actually tell me the future.
It says that the interlopers will come and kill us all.
Oh, it does it? Did anyone seize this magical device to see that it says that?
The people kind of calm down a little bit.
Would anyone like to see this device?
There's a few murmurs.
Yes, okay, all right, I'll hand it around. Here, just everyone gather around. Okay, so this is the globe.
Salt Shaker, go and take the device from him.
The salt shaker marches up and he snatches the phone away from you, Paul.
Hey, that is mine. I would like that back, thank you.
Oh, I see what this is. Everyone, Paul the chieftain has fooled you. This device is a box which contains the soul of his dead mistress.
Shock. Murmur.
My dead what?
Yes. Little did you know that Chieftain Paul had a mistress, and he killed her and put her soul in this box. Throw the phone back at Paul. Chieftain Paul is nothing but a coward and a liar. We have nothing to fear from the interlopers, not under my leadership. He seeks to undermine this nation and make you think that you are weak. But I know that you are strong, and no enemy of Germany or whatever island this is could possibly stand before us.
Now you see here, Adolf Hitler, and listen to reason. Ask yourself, or rather ask them, what are their weapons made of? Go on, tell him.
Fine, what are the weapons made of?
The finest stone and palm tree wood, sir.
Oh, then, what are the other tribals using? I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Hitler. Larger island nations often had much more advanced weaponry than their smaller counterparts. You're asking for trouble.
So what, we are facing stone with slightly better stone. There's no difference.
No, we're talking about a nation with trained warriors, with finely honed weapons that have been battle-tested. Our people have used their weapons on clams.
Clams are better armored than most people.
There won't be any winning. The battle of attrition at the very least will be lost if they send a second wave.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Paul. And I am surprised. As a fellow Westerner, you should know that superior German tactics will see these people through every battle.
As far as I've read, you don't even hardly know any military tactics.
That's not true. I led entire militaries.
You fought with your own generals constantly. You had no idea what you were doing.
I will not stand here and tolerate this sass. Salt Shaker, seize Paul.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. Paul is just committing treason. It's all being taken care of.
Your head will be on a stick, Hitler. What do you think, that Montezuma didn't underestimate Hernan Cortez? Having an ego larger than the nation you lead is no advantage.
I will lead this nation into enlightenment. But, Paul, if you are so fond of Montezuma, perhaps we can still do things the old ways. Salt Shaker, kill Paul, and I'm sure one of these tribals will be happy to eat his heart.
Oh, I'll do it if no one else wants to.
Dama, you have really gone native.
Yeah, Anyway, let's get at that heart.
Well, Paul, I don't think you're getting out of this. Hitler has you executed, Jeffrey Dahmer eats your heart, and then Mason and Lowry, a bunch of tribals from a much larger island nation, ambush everyone in the night, and it is a complete slaughter. They chase down the people who try to run, and they kill them, they kill women, they kill children, they enslave some people. It seems kind of random. You guys as chieftains definitely die. It is bloody and brutal and horrible, and you have to, watch all of it happen.
Well, Jeffrey Dahmer probably enjoyed it.
No, someone give me a revolver. I can't let them take me. I have to kill myself before they get to me.
I guess Hitler takes the easy way out and throws himself on a stone spear.
Oh, thank goodness, they almost got me.
When you guys come to, you find yourself in another empty room. A giant podium rises up with the Krampus sitting on it. He's wearing a powdered wig. He says that concludes the game portion. Now begins the trial. The Krampus bangs his gavel against the podium. Gavel! Gavel! Paul Sprinklewinker, you stand before me accused of being purest of evil. How do you plead?
Well, a case of mistaken identity, Your Honor.
So you're sticking with the already debunked claim that you are not in fact Paul Sprinklewinker.
Already debunked? It was never debunked! You never proved that I was Paul Sprinklewinker. What do you have? Fingerprints? My ID?
That you attempt to cast doubt on this courtroom in the first place is sign enough of your evil.
This is ridiculous. Where exactly is my lawyer? Don't I get representation?
Do the poor, do the underclass get representation under your rule, Mr. Sprinklewinker?
Well, not very good representation. I would at least like subpar representation, thank you.
What of your employees, Mr. Sprinklewinker? Do they get representation when they suffer at the hands of your company?
No, we actually get sent to arbitration. That's one of the things that I hated about working under Sprinklewinker.
So then consider this an arbitration.
Oh God, are we on trial? This is why I killed myself. I can't be on trial.
You are not on trial, Hitler. We are trying Paul Sprinklewinker.
I already did one of these. I'm guilty of everything, Your Honor.
Shut up, Dahmer. Shut up, Hitler. You know what? There's your representation. Sprinklewinker, I hereby assign Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer as your legal representatives.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for your magnanimity, Your Honor. While you're at it, would you like to turn into a kangaroo? Would that be fun? Really just drive home the point, or would that be too on the nose?
Order in my courtroom. Gavel, gavel, order.
Oh, you and your gavel. All right, well, what else do you have to do besides accuse me and say that you're correct about every accusation?
You are not here merely to be accused. We are here to present evidence of your evil, Mr. Sprinklewinker. Thanks in no small part to the game that you just played. One of the most common complaints I see from my victims is that, well, they would have acted differently if put in a vacuum, given a different situation, or they never would have been this evil. Isn't that right, Hitler?
I wouldn't have had to do what I did if Germany didn't surrender the first war. We were going to win, and they got cold feet.
Yes, precisely. You see, Hitler, he says that he would behave differently if given different circumstances, and yet we put him on this island as a chieftain among those people. And what did you do, Hitler?
I made them stronger.
You burned them alive.
What doesn't kill them makes them stronger.
The fire killed them.
Didn't kill all of them.
Sprinklewinker, dude, you just gotta plead guilty. Just let it go. This has dragged on long enough.
Your Honor, what exactly does Jeffrey Dahmer have in common with Mr. Sprinklewinker?
And what did Jeffrey Dahmer do exactly?
Oh, I just killed some gay people.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a big deal.
Yeah, I kinda ate their corpses afterward.
But now I'm starting to see the problem.
Yeah, but it was kinda genius in my opinion. It was terrible, but genius. You gotta hide the bodies, so what if you eat the bodies? Except I couldn't hide the whole body, so
Right, the bodies, yes. It's always a challenge, isn't it? You know, that's the thing. You never think about the logistics until you're there doing it. It's always so much more work than you'd believe killing people. It makes you wonder why we even do it.
Your Honor, I would like to reject Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer as my representation.
Try mass murdering millions of people. I was just about to get a fork myself.
This is just unacceptable.
You know, there's a saying that a man who represents himself has a fool for a client.
Well, if people commonly had Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer as their representatives, I'm sure they'd have a saying about that, too.
They do. It's called birds of a feather.
So how does this work? Is there at least a jury, or is it just you?
Krampus Jr. rises up from the floor sitting at a jury bench. He waves, and he goes, "I'm the jury."
Oh, well, at least there's a jury. Am I allowed to address the jury? I don't think in real court that you're allowed to address the jury.
Do not address the jury!
Right, because that would cause a mistrial, and then you'd have to find a new jury.
This is the kindest I've ever been. You know, normally it would be your peers sitting there, Genghis Khan and Dr. Mengele and people like that.
No, okay, I'm perfectly fine with Krampus Jr. being the jury.
I thought so. Now let's begin.
Or we'll just say, in some legal systems, you're allowed to debate over the jury, so you don't wind up with, like, a choice between Genghis Khan and the prosecutor's son.
Mr. Sprinklewinker, you were made chieftain of a small island tribe. And how did you treat that power? With supreme selfishness. You allowed those people to be slaughtered.
Well, I mean, they really didn't stand a chance. And speaking again, you know, if I could, I would like a do-over. I feel like I would really have liked to save Kantu. He seemed like a nice guy, and Tabu did not even get a fair shake.
There is no do-over. That was effectively your do-over. You've lived your entire life as a monster, and then you were given a do-over on a fictional little island, and you let everybody burn to death.
That is a very strong word.
Why didn't you stop Hitler before he killed everybody?
Well, I didn't know right away he was going to set everyone on fire, and then after that he had that salt shaker on his team, and he looked intimidating. He was very small on the game board, but during the game he was quite big and he was full of salt.
Yes, he was one of the good ones. He was quite tall, towered over everybody. You know, that's what you need starting off, Paul. You need something like Salt Shaker. Later on, you'll have to kill him. Oh, he gave me flashbacks to Rome.
To Rome?
No, Rome. He was a friend of mine. He also ran the SA. And also ran around in all the gay bathhouses. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure the Salt Shaker didn't do that.
The Salt Shaker was, in fact, inclined towards same-sex relationships.
He was? Why are all the good enforcers gay?
Anyway, let's get on with it. You made no effort whatsoever to stop Hitler, and then you attempted to team up with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, he was one of the 3 chieftains. The scenario set it up that Dahmer had a certain amount of power, and perhaps could have intervened to help everyone.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. And you should have known I never was gonna.
I didn't think you would, but I had to try something.
Nah, it was really dumb. You should have given up and done something else right from the get-go.
Well, what would you have done, Krampus? How would you win that trial?
I am not the one on trial, Mr. Sprinklewinker.
Well, I'm rather baffled by the entire thing. I mean, allow me to make my case. It seems as though those people were going to get slaughtered no matter what. I mean, I really had no say or control over those other islanders that were coming in, and you put Hitler in there, and Hitler, well, he was Hitler about everything, and then Jeffrey Dahmer was there, and he did what he did.
Yes, but what did you do, Paul? You stepped in, and now you're stumbling all over your excuses.
Well, as the prosecution, I'm saying you need to be compelled to demonstrate what one could have done differently to absolve themselves of sin and still see that situation through in a winning manner. Because it looked like it was a losing situation no matter what. For one thing, Hitler was in charge. For another thing, we were all going to die. Maybe I could have rescued a few islanders, but I would have probably had to abandon some people. I mean, it would have been chaos and pandemonium. Maybe over numerous attempts, I could get it right, but seeing it for the first time, knowing nothing, it was going to go poorly.
You want to know what I would have done, Mr. Sprinklewinker?
Yes, make your own case. Tell me what you would do.
I would wave my magic sleigh bells and put all the evil men into my bag of torture.
Well, if only I had magic sleigh bells and a bag of torture. Why wasn't I provided with that during the trial?
Why didn't you tackle Hitler and choke him out on the spot?
I would have slapped him.
Because there's other consequences for that kind of behavior.
And then Salt Shaker would have slapped him.
You knew perfectly well who Hitler was.
You
know perfectly well. The reason you didn't do it is because you secretly idolize him.
As he should.
You're only putting on an act to pretend you're not Sprinklewinker.
Well, Krampus, you know what I think? I think you have nothing on Paul. Paul is a great man who got in my way, and that's... Paul, you're a terrible man. You should have never gotten in my way. I was going to fix those people. I was going to make them see the brilliant strategies that I had in my mind.
Order in my courtroom. Gavel. Order. Quiet, you. I'm the one doing the prosecuting, and I will prosecute the lines that matter.
Well, you know what my theory is? My theory is I did nothing truly blameless, and now that you don't have any clear prosecution to follow, you're just trying to throw darts and see what sticks.
Gavel! I will not permit you to cast aspersions at the prosecution. That is baseless ad hominem, and I urge you to stick to the material facts of the case. One more diversion like that, and I will throw a book at you. Wait, is there a book? Is there a book with all the written rules that the Krampus follows? Well, throw the book to me! The Krampus cartoonishly pulls a giant book out from under the podium. There is no way that it fit under there. It is as tall as him and must weigh several hundred pounds. He lifts it up over his head. He goes, "You want me to throw the book? I will throw this book at you.
No,
you want to see it? You want?
No. May I read the contents, however?
I don't see how it will help your case, but fine. He opens up the book to a random page out where you can see. It's written in incredibly tiny text and in Latin.
Well, I cannot read a word of this.
I told you! Useless! And he slams the book shut, then he tries to stuff it under the podium. It doesn't go, so he's gotta shove his body up against it, give it a couple of kicks, and then eventually he gets it worked back in there. And he goes, "Now don't make me get that back out again! It is a pain to put away!"
Actually, Vit, I think I recognize the clause in there.
No, it's put away already. I'm not getting it out again, unless, if I get it out again, I'm gonna crush somebody with it, okay?
Well, there was no need for that. But fine, we'll stick to the material facts of the case. Well, the simple fact is, I did take steps to try and stop Hitler. I tried to do things in a manner that wouldn't make it any worse. I mean, if I killed Hitler, then I would have to be the dictator, and the island would be a nation governed by killing whoever's in charge now, and that's completely untenable.
So you're saying that rule by Hitler is better than rule by you?
Well, just the system that doesn't let Hitler be in charge is a preferable alternative to most systems. And I don't know, maybe someone more sociopathic would have stepped in and killed Hitler before Hitler rose to power, but then you would have a different sociopath in power. Maybe not as bad as Hitler.
Ah, of course, and here it is, where you say that men of action are the ones who really rule the world and are the ones who we really need. Thereby excusing yourself, no doubt.
Well, can we even have it both ways? Am I a lazy good-for-nothing who didn't take enough actions? Or am I a sociopathic insane man who runs things?
You are lazy when it suits you, Mr. Sprinklewinker. It's as simple as that.
Well, let's just say then, hypothetically, that you had the wrong man and I wasn't Mr. Sprinklewinker, and yet you refused to double-check to make sure I was Mr. Sprinklewinker. Would that not in fact be lazy? Are we not all, at some time, a little bit lazy?
You are not the wrong man, Mr. Sprinklewinker. I am not going to fall for this.
Look, the fact is, sometimes you'll be in unwinnable situations, and sometimes things are just going to be bad, but... Well, I guess that the best thing that we could do is try to have a system that feels like it's doing its best to be fair, and so long as you appreciate the process or agree with it, then that's as good as it gets.
And the system that you created when you were in power, was that fair to everybody? Was that as good as it gets?
No, the system under Sprinklewinker is awful. I'm not Mr. Sprinklewinker. I think that things could improve and that we should care and want things to improve. Well, dwelling on what's wrong is part of how we identify what needs to be fixed, but being constructive and working towards improving things, that's how we get what we want. And that's what's most important.
Yes, it's clear as that we need to cut away at the bad parts of our world to make it a good world.
No, that's insane. If you spend all of your time and energy just playing whack-a-mole trying to kill things that you think are terrible, well, you'll never stop because things will continue to be terrible, because whatever exists in the first place that makes things terrible, it will stay there. Repairing the damage that makes things wrong, that's what makes it all better. You could put me in that bag, Mr. Krampus, just like you could put Hitler in the bag and Jeffrey Dahmer in the bag, but you putting these people in the bag didn't create a world that precluded Hitler. All you have is one more Hitler kind of guy in your bag. And without changes coming from the world itself, because you never did anything, well, you'll just get another Hitler and who knows when.
Then is that where you'd like to rest your case, Paul? Calling into question this entire process and its value to society?
Yes. You know what? I hereby rest my case on the argument that this entire system that you've created is pointless and vindictive and achieves nothing. You may punish people who deserve it, or in some cases, apparently you punish innocent people, but never have you improved the world. And in some way, I wonder if that truly separates you morally from the people you have in your bag.
Very well. Then it goes to the jury. Members of the jury, how do you find the defendant? The Krampus Jr. goes, he doesn't seem very guilty. Krampus goes, Sweetie, would you maybe like to deliberate for a little while?
Hey, I thought you said that we couldn't address the jury directly.
I said you couldn't address the jury. He's my son. Krampus Jr. goes, No, I don't know. I mean, I watched him. It didn't look like he was evil.
If I may, I agree with the Krampus on this one. Paul got in my way, and that ruined everything. He could have saved those people if not for Paul.
I do vote Hitler very guilty, though. Krampus Sr. goes, Hitler is not on trial. Paul is on trial. Do you find him guilty or no? Krampus Jr. goes, if he's guilty, does he not do my next trial? Krampus Sr. says, yes, well, he wouldn't do the next trial because he's failed this one. Then Krampus Jr. goes, then he's not guilty. Krampus Sr. rubs his forehead and he goes, okay. Well, Paul, I will add tampering with the jury to your list of sins.
Tampering with the jury? You raised the jury, you psychopath!
Ad hominem gavel!
The court case is over. You can't gavel me now.
A door rises up out of the floor and Krampus Jr. scampers through. Oh boy, okay, I'm super excited about this one. You guys are gonna love it. Krampus Sr. skulks through the door, stopping to give you guys the stink eye just before he disappears.
Well, Paul, you made a mess of this last one. I hope you don't screw up the next one.
Yeah, it's your last chance, buddy.
It's the last trial. I just have to get through this. The two of you try not to make this worse than it is. And I go through the door.
It turns out the final room is a large Roman-style coliseum. There's dirt on the ground and all the column seats are filled up with stuffed animals. Krampus Jr. walks out into the middle and throws out his hands. He goes, yeah! The crowds go wild for the final confrontation!
Krampus Jr., what exactly is the final confrontation?
Coliseum battle!
Coliseum battle? We've been through all these tests of morality and the final test is a fight?
Yeah, just like the gladiators. That's gonna be so cool. Okay, so here's the deal. You get to pick a weapon of choice, and then I'll summon that weapon for you, and then I'm going to fight you with my sleigh bell. He holds up a sleigh bell that's the size of a mace and looks about as heavy as one, too. It jingles as it waggles.
But what does this prove about my goodness?
Well, Paul, a brave man would be able to fight, even a child.
Oh, well, my weapon doesn't work on the pure of heart, so if you're pure of heart, then you should be fine.
Well, how pure are we talking exactly?
I think you have to be a virgin, for one. Have you ever laid with the opposite gender?
But that seems like hardly a fair standard.
Well, if you're married and you have a wife, then it is acceptable.
Okay, listen. Morals have changed, things have moved forward, and...
Krampus Sr. comes up behind you. He's flapping his hands, and he goes, blah, 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 blah. Morals have changed. We have our own standards. Listen, we wrote the rules way back when. You mortals were fine with some of these back then. I checked. Get on with it.
Wait, you consulted with humans about whether or not this would be okay?
Yeah, thousands of years ago, I checked to make sure that all of this was fine.
So these standards, they're not even like a higher standard. This is something that someone else passed judgment on.
One of your peers, yes. Weren't you all bent out of shape about that with the jury trial earlier?
Well, contemporary peers would be appreciated.
They are contemporary by about, a couple of thousand years. It's fine. Krampus Jr. goes, choose your weapon!
Okay, well, I would like...
Beer.
What?
Beer. I want a beer.
Okay, Krampus Jr. snaps his fingers. You get a beer, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Pop it open and drink it immediately. Oh, thank God.
What, just a beer? That's not a weapon.
Oh, shoot. Actually, is it too late to ask for a six-pack?
What's a six-pack?
Like 6 beers.
Well, you only get one weapon.
Okay, I want a keg.
Like a keg of beer?
Actually, make it a barrel.
Okay. He snaps his fingers and your beer turns into a barrel of beer.
Actually, how far can I go with this? A water tower?
Are you gonna use a water tower as a weapon?
A water tower full of beer? Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay. He snaps his fingers and a water tower appears in the center of the arena and it is presumably full of beer.
Okay, I'm set. Can we call timeouts, or is this like it?
I didn't think about timeouts in the rules. I don't think so.
Okay, you guys hold him down. I'm gonna go do my thing. Go over to the tap, wherever that is, and just turn on the beer.
Well, I suppose if you expect you're going to lose, there's worse ways to spend your last moment. Okay, I want a carabiner. Standard issue German rifle.
Is that a kind of vegetable?
No, I just said it's a standard issue German rifle.
Right, and what is a rifle?
What is a rifle? It's a weapon that you shoot people with. A gun, a firearm.
Okay. Could you describe in more detail?
Do you not know what a gun is? Do you not know what a rifle is?
I didn't really watch all the human history before I went out.
All right, well, it's like a tube which you load tiny pieces of metal into, and there's swirls on the inside, so the bullet spins.
Okay, I think you're gonna have to draw me a picture.
All right, I will take a stick for now. My weapon of choice will be a stick, and I will use it to draw you a picture of a gun.
Oh, okay, alright, that's fine for now. He snaps his fingers, and then you get a stick.
All right, well, it's good that I studied to be an artist for a while. Hold on just a second.
Weren't you rejected from art school?
Shut up! I still know how to draw a gun. I can do basic shapes, okay? But everyone thinks you have to be Leonardo da Vinci to be an artist. I'm perfectly fine, isn't it?
What about you, Mr. Paul?
Could I ask for, armor that makes me invulnerable to your weapon?
I'm gonna say that's against the rules now.
Well, was it against the rules before?
I didn't think of it, so it wasn't in the rules, but now it's in the rules.
So you're just changing the rules as the fight goes on. How do I know you're going to honor the duel?
'Cause it's gonna be a really good duel, so I'm just changing the rules now before we start.
All right, so you promise no rule changes after we start fighting.
I promise absolutely no rule changes in the middle of the fight.
Okay, well, as Hitler's drawing what a gun looks like, could I ask for something maybe more ambitious, like a tank or...
Don't ask for a tank.
And why not? It's not as though I know how to fly an attack helicopter.
Do you know how to drive a tank?
Oh. No, I suppose I don't.
Well, if you don't have a tank crew, then a tank is useless to you. Don't ask for a tank.
Dahmer, you were in the army. Do you know how to drive a tank?
No, dude, and I wasn't in the army for that long.
All right, well, forget the tank thing then. Oh, I know. How about a technical?
Okay, what's a technical?
Well, you know when we were in New York and you saw all those vehicles on the street?
Are those technicals? I didn't really look very close at them. I was more looking at the very tall buildings and that lady up on the billboards that was drinking the water, the brown water.
You mean the soda?
The soda water?
Well, all right, yes. Do you remember the vehicles?
They were like metal carriages.
Right, yes, exactly. Well, a technical is one of those, but with a flatbed in the back, like it's a truck.
Okay, you're gonna need to be more specific.
Right, well, okay, so imagine a chariot, right? There's like a space in the back for someone to ride.
Okay, got it. He snaps his hands and he makes you a chariot.
You know what? Sure, this is workable. And then in the front, is like a device which causes the chariot to drive on its own.
Okay, like a horse? He snaps and then there's a horse pulling the chariot.
Kind of, but like a small horse that has more power than a regular horse and it's enclosed within a safe space.
Well, then how does the horse see?
Well, the horse doesn't need to see, it just follows directions from the driver. So.
Oh, like blinders on the rail. Okay, I get it. He snaps and the horse is enclosed in like an armored casing and is smaller.
Well, I guess that'll do. This horse, he's like stronger than a normal horse, right?
Well, how much stronger?
Well, we say that engines have horsepower, so like I think a truck engine would have something like 300 horsepower. I'm not sure exactly the specs on vehicles.
The horse has to be as strong as 300 horses?
Something like that, yes.
Boy, that is a very strong pony.
Well, it's not really a pony. I mean, the horse is technically, like, it's driven by fire.
And the horse is on fire?
Sort of. It's a combustion thing.
That is so cool! He snaps and the horse, like, bursts into flame, so there's smoke coming out from the bottom.
Okay, also close enough. And then finally on the back, there's guns, usually very big guns, like the one Hitler here is drawing.
Okay, I think I am done. This is what the carabiner looks like.
Are you sure you're drawing it right? That looks like just a tube.
But, yes, of course, it's just a tube, fundamentally, but look, there's all kinds of parts. Oh, I have to draw the parts in the middle.
Do you actually know the inner workings of a gun, Hitler? I mean, could you fire something that you drew?
I don't know. How much time do we have to get it right?
Krampus Sr., who sat himself down in one of the seats, yells out, "Personally, my patience is running a little thin."
But I don't know, Paul, if you have a better, faster way of explaining how firearms work to a child.
All right, Krampus Jr., are you familiar with crossbows?
Oh yeah, I know crossbows.
All right, so imagine a crossbow, but it fires its bolts, at the speed of sound.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, that's going to travel so fast that as the bolt flies loose, it's going to make a thunderous crack as it breaks the sound barrier.
Wow.
Right.
That must take forever to wind up.
Oh, no, that's the beauty of it. It's powered by fire, like the horse.
Okay, so the crossbow is on fire. How do you hold it?
Well, the fire is actually, it's on the back end of the bolt, so to speak, and kind of like the fire detaches from the bolt, in a way.
I don't really get it.
Never mind the fire. Like let's suppose, okay, you know how like a volcano, when it explodes, it's all full of pressure, right? That's actually what's going to shoot the bolt.
Volcanic pressure shoots the bolt?
Yes, in essence, that is what a firearm's all about. You see, Hitler, he's drawn this tube. There's like volcanic pressure in the back end of the tube, and it fires the bolt out of the front end of the tube.
How does it get that much pressure in it?
Well, we put like a tiny volcano in the back end.
We put it in the back end of the bolt, to be specific.
So there's a tiny volcano in the back end of every bolt, and they shoot the bolts so fast that they crack like thunder.
Yes, can you do that?
I can definitely try. He snaps his fingers, and a crossbow appears mounted on the back of your chariot.
Okay, do you mind if I test this?
Yeah, I want to see it go.
All right. Climb up on the back of the chariot and I guess pull the trigger.
The crossbow erupts. The bolt flies off, crack, and then buries itself into one of the teddy bears in the stands. Krampus Jr. goes, "Oh my god, that was so cool!"
Right, okay, so here's the beauty of it. Now I want you to imagine an entire belt of these crossbow bolts, and they're all fed into the crossbow one at a time, and you don't have to reload it.
Okay, how does that work?
Well, suppose you have like a clockwork crank, right? And you're turning the crank, and every time a new bolt goes in, then it'll fire. So you just roll that crank until you're out of crossbow bolts.
Okay, alright, I got it. He snaps, and now there's a crank on the back of the crossbow, and a bolt of crossbow bolts attached to that.
Okay, this'll work. Oh, actually, hold on, I've got a phone. I think I can just show you a technical that might clarify this somewhat.
Krampus Sr. comes storming down. He goes, "No, no, 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 no." He snatches the phone away. He says, "Do not show my son the internet, alright? He will not see the internet until I'm ready to see the internet. In fact," he cracks your phone in half.
That was mine.
"You won't need it when you go in the bag. None of this is going to help you defeat my son in combat. The sleigh mace is undefeatable. Alright, get him, son." And he stalks his way back to the stands. However, Krampus Jr. is leaning over your crossbow thing, and he's just like looking at it in awe. He goes, "This is so cool. Do you think you want to trade?"
Trade?
"Yeah, I'll give you the sleigh bell if you let me drive the chariot."
Yes.
Okay, here you go. And he hands you the sleigh bell.
Thank you. How do I use this?
Okay, so it's basically a mace. You just hit me with it, and I will explode.
So am I to presume that you're not pure at heart?
Who, me? Oh, no, I stole a cookie once. You look over at Krampus Sr., and he has buried his head in his hands. Krampus Jr. hops up on the chariot. He goes, oh boy. He grabs the reins, and he whips him. Yeah! The chariot takes off at high speed. Ah! Oh my god, it's so fast! He tries to make a turn, and then the chariot topples over and rolls down the way. Dust kicks up behind him, and then when it clears, you see the Krampus Jr. is trapped underneath the mangled chariot. Oh my god! I think I'm stuck. I'm stuck. He struggles to get loose, but it doesn't look like he's gonna.
Well, I guess Hitler wins again. Another victory for Germany. Come along, Paul, let's go squash the child.
You go ahead, Hitler. I'll catch up with you.
Well, fine, I've acclaimed the victory.
Go over and sit down next to the Krampus.
Well, there it is. First mortal in thousands of years to escape punishment, and of course it had to be you, Sprinkle Winker.
Finally admitting there might be a flaw in your whole design.
Oh, no, I'm saying there's no point in my entire career. Mortals have finally figured out how to best all of my tests, and you know what? It's just downhill from now on for all of you.
Well, I hesitate to say your entire body of work is useless, but what exactly do you think you contributed?
Justice, Sprinkle Winker. How many times do I have to tell you? And in front of my own child. He's gonna look back on this day and he's gonna realize this is when he's gonna understand that his dad is a farce.
I don't know about that. I mean, your son is clearly invested. He obviously looks up to you. He was excited to make all these trials. I bet he'll want to do another one.
Why would he? When he sees what you do to the world, he's going to realize how grave this mistake was. Do you have any idea how disheartening it is to watch you people do what you do?
Well, of course. I mean, we all have to live in the consequences, don't we? You know, you don't get to them before they've run their course. That's the thing, though. They always run their course, don't they? Hitler shot himself in a bunker. Mr. Sprinklewinker, maybe he'll die before his legacy bankrupts him, but eventually he'll lose power because you can't be like him forever. It causes poverty and hardship and distress. And you know where the prosperity of the upper class comes from? It comes from the lower classes who are suffering. If you crush the people beneath you, that erodes the foundation of your power. Sprinklewinker is doomed eventually, just by nature. Everything he built will crumble. After all, that is the crux of evil, isn't it? It eats itself.
Oh, boo-hoo. So you punish yourselves, you sniveling idiots. I don't need to step in and punish you. What, should I just let Hitler go? Let Jeffrey Dahmer go?
I'm not excusing any of history's great villains, or even myself, and I'm not Mr. Sprinklewinker. I just know that we all have our own flaws and demons to battle. The only point I'm trying to make is that somewhere during the course of things there has to be a correction. It could come at the end of the lifespan, or sometime before. That there is a punishment isn't crucial, just that it gets better.
Hitler is standing over Krampus Jr. with a stick, hitting him. Whack, ow, whack, ow, whack, ow.
He's not dying! Paul, I think you need to use the mace.
Krampus, I don't want to kill your child. Not for you, because I don't really like you, but for the sake of your child, he seems... well, he's a child.
Oh, he'll be fine. You can hit him with the mace.
I mean, I don't even like the idea. Why would I want to hit your child with a mace?
He chose the Colosseum battle to be the final trial. Okay, he chose this. Just hit him with the mace.
Well, what if I don't?
Then that's a forfeit, and you'll go in the bag.
Let's be honest here. If I crush your child with a mace, are you really going to let me go?
Obviously, someone who would crush a child with a mace to get out of being punished is not someone who's... No, you will go in the bag because that would still make you a horrible person.
Well, there we are. So it's a catch-22. If I forfeit, I go in the bag. If I kill your child with a mace, then you'll put me in the bag because I'm a child killer.
Well, actually, he'll be fine. He won't really die. He'll recover. But I'll still be mad at you.
You know what I think the problem is here, Krampus? It's that you're a powerful individual who can't admit that he's wrong.
Because I'm not wrong.
No, it's because if you admit that you're wrong about me, then you'd have to reevaluate everything that you've done so far and acknowledge there might be other cases that were unfairly prosecuted.
Well, if you want to unprosecute them, then be my guest. Why don't we start with Hitler? You can tell me all the reasons why he's just a poor, misunderstood little butterfly who needs to be protected from the Krampus.
You know what? No, you know what I think we have, Krampus? I think we have a situation where you want to be the moral authority, and yet your only options are amoral. Either let me go, which you believe to be morally wrong, or put me in the bag even though I won the trials, which you also know to be morally wrong. So I propose this. You admit that there is still some development to do in your methods. Tell your child that things are not perfect, and that it's up to him to reflect on this and amend the methods of the Krampus for the future. And in return, I will agree we won't return me to Earth. However, maybe I can be your personal butler or something.
Mr. Sprinklewinker, the personal butler of the Krampus.
You will be surprised at what a good butler I am, considering you don't think I am one.
Oh my god.
Well, what is it? Compromise yourself and your morals and look like a hypocrite in front of your child, or make some kind of deal?
You mortals, you think that just because you have the audacity...
Well, I'm in no hurry. I'm not really eager to run up and hit your child with a mace. But how much time do you want to spend watching Adolf Hitler whack him with a stick?
Hitler, could you please stop hitting my child with that stick?
No!
You people all belong in the bag.
Imagine me cleaning your toilets. Won't that be fun?
My god, I suppose...
You can make it terrible, I guarantee you. You won't be a worse boss than Mr. Sprinklewinker.
I don't know if I could find the energy to be as terrible of a boss as him.
Oh, I know, he uses computers to make it worse. They reevaluate your misery, like, every week, and then tighten the screws a little.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to be doing this with AI. I need to modernize.
No. The child is the future.
No, computers. I need to contact Mark Zuckerberg.
No, listen. I am not going to forfeit. You have to invest in your child, okay? In that. The whole reform and emotional well-being. If you go to computers, I'm not surrendering.
Fine. All right. I agree. Henceforward, Paul Sprinklewinker, you will be my eternal butler. And, in return, I will agree to place my trust in my child to reform the ways of the Krampus as he sees fit.
Fine. I don't really know how much else to reform this situation, and I don't know if it will do any good, but I have done my best. So, let's agree.
Well, there it is. He holds out his hand.
I suppose I shake it.
Boy, if you could get another book deal, I bet you'd write all about this.
I would not even know where to begin, but yes, it would make a fine book.
Krampus stands up. He goes, Junior, Paul has made a plea deal. He's admitted he's guilty. Krampus Jr. goes, oh, does that mean I won? Krampus waves his hands and the chariot lifts up off his son. He says, yes, you won. However, I do have to say that in light of all this, and thanks to you, I've realized that not everything that I have done is perfect, and you've got a lot of really great innovative ideas, and I think that you should reflect on this and think about how you would want to do more trials going forward in the future. In fact, maybe I'll let you do more of the trials from now on. And then he looks at you, Paul.
I guess nod. Yes, that's sort of what we agreed on.
And I'm doing something a little different with Paul. From now on, he's going to be our house butler. So if you need him to clean anything or pick up any broken glass or anything, you just get him. Krampus Jr. goes, oh, okay.
At your service.
What about me? What about Hitler?
Oh, yeah, okay. He grabs you and he puts you back in the bag.
Wait, no, but no,
Okay, and Dahmer too. He picks up Dahmer and he puts him back in the bag.
All right, it was nice meeting you, Paul. Bye.
Yes, we didn't interact very much.
So, Paul, henceforward for the next eternity, you are the butler of the Krampus, who is cranky and terrible and kind of a tyrant of a boss, but he doesn't use computers to make your life worse, and is therefore slightly better to work for than your old boss.
That's kind of like purgatory, I guess. You could do worse.
You could do worse. Krampus Jr. sort of takes over the business as much as Krampus will allow. It turns out he still kind of wants to micromanage a lot, so the reforms are not like really wild or fantastic, but you did achieve a little bit of something. And that's it. That's the game.
Yay, mediocre ending.
I see in these moral games, you've always got to go either all evil or all good. You rode the line too much, Paul.
Was there a plan for Paul to actually, get off the hook or anything?
No. I didn't really know how that was going to end.
Well, it was fun, though. I feel like Lowry kind of didn't get to do a lot.
Yeah, I didn't really know where to go. I mean, best case, I was going to drug you and kill you and eat you, and again, that sort of, ends the game.
Yeah.
Hitler had some potential, though. That's just angry man. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to be an angry man.
It's a strong driving core.
So who's doing the next game?
I've got one. I want to do Charlie Chonkless Chocolate Factory. All of you guys are going to be corporate spies trying to break into the magical Charlie Chonkless Chocolate Factory to steal their secrets.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Oh yeah, I got that. I'm down with that.
All right, great. Then that'll be next time. Get excited. I hope you guys liked that episode. If you did, consider supporting on Patreon. You can find me under Don Somewhere. I also have a website called donsomewhere.com where you can find all the stuff that I've done over the years. Well, not all the stuff, but a bunch of the things that I've done over the years since being on the internet. Sometimes I do actually get a little ahead of schedule, and when I do, I post early stuff on the Patreon. We also have a Discord server. You don't have to be on the Patreon to get into that, but it's there. You can send me a message if you want a link. Again, that is Don Somewhere on Patreon or donsomewhere.com for our website. Hope you guys have a wonderful week.